it's not only that, but also Sushi is shedding his winter coat, and
Oh,
no shit, we have been vacuuming the carpets twice a week out of necessity because if you don't, it looks like you haven't vacuumed them in like months. And I'm like, Jesus Christ! I took them outside and I brushed them last weekend or
yeah,
something like that, and it was
yeah.
like no shit, like a pound of fur came off of them. I'm like, oh
Wow,
my god, dog! And I was
dude.
and I was mocking the people that we got from like, oh yeah, they don't shed that much, blah blah blah. Only corgis shed that much. Augies don't shed.
Dude, listen, I made a really conscious decisions uh to get a dog with hair and not fur
Yeah,
because of that.
I
I am a lazy fuck. I am not gonna be vacuuming
I
every
I
week.
that the next dog we get, I'm like, we are not getting a dog like this.
Yeah, dude. All right, let me share. Let me share the.
Do you know how many lint roller sheets we went through just on the couch alone?
Wow.
Yeah. Not
Dee,
only
dee,
that,
dee.
but also
Oh god, I can hear you
shedding his
twice.
winter
Ha
coat.
ha ha ha
And no
ha ha.
shit.
It's me, Andrew. Andrew, Andrew,
Oh, stop,
Andrew, Andrew,
stop,
Andrew,
stop,
Andrew,
stop,
Andrew,
stop,
Andrew,
stop, stop,
Andrew,
stop,
Andrew.
stop. We are very grown.
Ha 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 ha.
Nobody's watching us right now, so you're good.
Ha 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 ha.
Oh my god, I can't believe that came up. It's been so long.
No, what
That was so
what
good.
you need to do was set one of the kobolds on fire. So you go down the shaft.
Yes.
I need I need
All right.
I if I knew that was going to be the thing, I should have had the Danish version of what was it, Jingle Bells or whatever or something like that, where like all the horses were going across
Oh
the
yeah.
rainbow. Crap!
All right, let's get this started. Are you ready?
It's like I can touch you.
Got you. Dude, what the hell is wrong with us?
I still love Don Hertzfeld. Nothing's ever changed.
we memorized almost every single one of his videos. It's a little sickening, but you know what can you
I
do?
love his
All right.
stuff. It's great. Anyways,
Dude, life is what was it one that's like a movie? I forgot.
Life is Beautiful. No, Everything Will Be Okay was one of them.
Everything will be okay.
And then there
Yeah,
was one where it's like life. I think it's like Life is Beautiful or something like that.
everything will be okay was amazing.
Yes, it was.
That was so good.
I actually want to get the whole, because they released the whole trilogy on Blu-ray now.
Ooh, I
Where
gotta check that out.
yeah, it was it's called what it's called like I I will always be proud of you or something like that. And it's like all three movies like wrapped up into one.
Don Hertzfeld Blu-ray.
And it was funny because we had a minor pipe leak under the sink. I found that out on my birthday. I'm like, oh great, this is what we're gonna do.
Oh,
We're gonna
fuck.
call a plumber. No, it was an easy fix. It was like, oh, one of the little things came loose. Eep. So the
Oh,
entire
there's two. There is It's Such a Beautiful Day.
that's
The
it.
Blu-ray.
That's it. It's such a beautiful day.
Yeah, and then World of Tomorrow, the first three episodes.
Yeah, World of Tomorrow is his newest thing.
Ooh, I gotta get him, bro.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
All right, so you found a pipe leak.
Yeah. And so the entire time I was referencing what's it? The the line where Bill was having one of his first hallucinations where like the pipe is leaking. The pipe is leaking.
My spoon is too big.
My spoon is too big.
Too big.
Teresa's never seen them, so she has no idea.
I'm pretty sure Kristen has never seen it.
So she thinks I'm having like a nervous breakdown.
She's like, oh god, it's happening.
My spoon is too big.
Oh fuck. All right, let's get this
All
started.
right, okay.
Okay.
We can just talk about Don Hurt stuff.
It's gonna be an episode. What the hell the fuck is that done? Anyways,
There will be one person that's like, yes,
yes, finally, biggest fan.
finally.
It's actually done hurtful.
I would be thrilled. If he...
Are you kidding me?
Uh,
Hey guys, thanks for mentioning my stuff on Twitch. I haven't seen any.
they,
What?
thanks for the bump.
Yeah. Look, you want to join us? I'll send you a Zoom link.
Oh, he would make the best background like character, you know, like or best character background and stuff like that. All right.
All right.
Wait. Are we recording?
Oh shit! Fuck, dude. What is wrong with me? Okay, I set it up and everything. I just never started recording. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, record.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, sync.
All right.
3, 2, 1,
Recording.
record. 3, 2, 1, sync.
All right.
All right, cool. Man, my audio wave is always so.
I know
like,
mine. Well, mine when it starts out, mine is kind of normal. But I think as we go on, that one's for you, Heather. I think as we go on, we get louder because then it starts to like get close to clipping.
Ooh, Dadwood 99. He said, "Sup, dudes. Hey, welcome to the stream. We're just getting started."
We just got off a Don Hertzfeld conversation, which if you know who that is, bonus points to you.
Yeah. Which is funny because usually people join us towards the end. Like, oh, thank you for joining us. Okay, we're leaving.
Unfortunately, we're wrapping it up.
All right, here you go. You ready?
Yes.
And welcome everybody to another episode of A Talk of Opportunity. This is Jose, your host, the only one in this podcast that matters. And with me, as per usual, the one with the actual content
is the eternal guest.
The eternal guest that never wants to leave.
The one where he can check out anytime he likes, but you can never leave. All right, roll the solo for the intro music.
No, not yet.
Yes,
we're gonna get taken down so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But welcome. Today we are talking about something very, 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 very specific that nobody has ever touched upon.
Oh my God.
Ever in any video. You'll hear it first here.
I don't even think Chris Perkins went over this crap.
No one has.
No.
Yeah, we're talking about backgrounds and why they're so important.
Or Jeremy Crawford. Yeah, Jeremy Crawford's never. This one slipped right under the radar when they were like okaying the book, and they're like, oh crap. But
backgrounds, a last minute thing.
Yeah, by the time they published it, it was too late.
Oh, but yes, we're gonna talk about backgrounds today, and with that, roll the music.
So after that brutal assault by the Orc warrior, the initiative now goes to you. Jose, what do you do?
I'm gonna cast Oh, wow.
That was the only Eagle song that I like.
Listen, I need to upload the other bumpers that we made. I'm still only showing the one. I don't even remember what the other.
We spent like 2 or 3 days working on those other bumpers, and you just been milking this one for as long as you can.
Hey, that way it feels fresh, even though it's the exact same setting. It's slightly adjusted. It's like, wow, they replicated their original bumper, but it's uncanny how similar it is.
Yeah.
after all these years. Oh man. All right, cool. So let's get into it. Backgrounds. But before we do that, Andrew, what are you drinking today?
I am drinking an iced coffee version because I'm a filthy millennial that also likes avocado toast and virtue signaling. I am drinking a iced coffee version of a South American coffee. I don't want to relegate it to one country because I don't want to be racist, but it's called El Coqui. Or
El Coqui.
Yeah, it's in a little black bag about yay big, and it's like gunpowder coffee. It's like so freaking strong.
You can actually light it up.
Yeah, I think it stands for
they used it for the revolution.
I think it stands for like the frog or something like that. That's what they told me. It could also.
What is it? What is it called?
El Coqui, Coqui. And I have that, but I also put creamer in it. But the creamer is called Rebel Creamer. It's Rebbl. It's a Rebbl. It's a non-dairy creamer that's actually made with reishi mushrooms. And it tastes like dark chocolate, like baker's chocolate.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So coqui apparently it's a Puerto Rican thing. It's the sound that frogs make when they're trying to attract the female.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So now you know. The more you know.
I knew I had to do something with frogs. I didn't know exactly what, but
yeah, I never heard of it. I am drinking today a Snapple.
Wow.
More
Wait, hold on.
specifically, fire.
Did they bring back Snapple Elements?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Wait,
I didn't know that.
Do they have
I didn't
rain?
know that was yeah, they have rain. I had that one yesterday. They have air. Now I'm trying fire for the first time.
Holy fuck! They actually brought back Snapple Elements. That's like a thing from my childhood. I loved rain because it was made of like cactus water or something like that.
Yeah, it tastes like the aloe vera. Juice that you buy. Yeah.
It's not cactus juice. Okay.
Snapple fire.
It's the quenchiest.
Okay, cool.
They came out with the 4 basic elements, and then they got weird.
Yeah.
There was one that's like comet, and it was made with like dragon fruit. I'm like, that's not an element, Snapple. I'm pretty sure that's not an element.
What do you know? You're not an avatar.
I mean, I also wasn't a Final Fantasy character, which apparently you could just summon a fucking meteor with your elementalist attacks. So
of course, because it's fire and earth combined.
The
fire element is dragon fruit flavored juice drink. 10% juice, so it's healthy.
Oh wait, no, maybe it wasn't dragon fruit then. It was like carrot juice or some weird shit. But it was delicious either way. Yeah, I'm so excited they brought those back. I'm gonna have to go to the store and grab one because like I've been looking for like the rain for the longest time. That was my favorite flavor.
Well, they have it there. You know what's nuts? In the package it says 45% less sugar, and it has 25 grams of sugar. You're supposed to have 23 grams of sugar.
Well, I mean, it still has. Oh God, 40% less sugar. Yeah. What's the first ingredients? Is it sugar?
Filter water.
Oh, okay.
And then the second one is sugar.
Wow, so that's the second most used ingredient in there. That's you don't drink that. I could hear your pancreas shutting down.
I don't need one.
It's like your pancreas is like that like final scene in Chernobyl where all the rods are bouncing up and stuff.
Yes. Not great, not bad.
It's not great, not terrible. His blood sugar is 3.6 Rodkins.
All right, Andrew. We have quite a lot to talk about today.
Do we?
Yeah.
Do we now?
Yeah, we do.
All right.
But we got to jump right into it because we're talking about backgrounds and why are they important? Why are they part of the game? And why do we have to pick one when we make a character? Why can my character just be a blank slate? Why does he need a background, Andrew? He doesn't want to be dictated by stereotypes.
Well, I mean, you can also customize a background. There is an option to do that. It's like at the beginning of this.
You just ruined my thing.
Saying there's an option to do that at the beginning where it's like, oh,
Andrew.
Okay, all right.
There's no option to change background, okay?
No, I'm well, maybe if your DM's cool about it, I would be okay with it. If it's something like, oh, I was a criminal, but now I found God. I'm like, okay, did you actually, or did you just want the Acolyte background?
All right. Flip. Hold on. I closed my thing. There you go. I had notes.
You do? Okay. I was just kind of flying by the seat of my pants on this one.
You can't tell me what to do.
I was just kind of hoping inspiration would take me to where I need to go.
Isn't that what we do for every episode?
Pretty much.
What's so different about it? Okay, cool. So let's go over. How do you want to tackle this? I say we go over each one of them. Well, read the text in the book as
painstakingly, every single page. There is
very badly too, so it's not entertaining.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 7 pages of text, so we better get started right now, buddy. All right, so
well, to give us some sort of guidelines, we're actually only touching on the PHP basic.
Yeah, there are backgrounds that are specific for like campaign settings, and then there's and it's like, okay, that's great, but we're just the ones in the PHP provide a pretty wide breadth of like, you know,
Yes.
for basic character creations, because like we don't need to go over like the Curse of Strahd, like, oh, the cursed one background, where it's
one.
like, okay. You know. But I think the way we should go over this is, one, tell people what backgrounds even are, and then we can touch on that, and you know, come up with some creative ones and stuff like that.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
See, as you guys are here in the planning stages of the episode.
Yeah,
you're
you're watching how the
VIP.
This is exclusive for Patreon users. Donate to our. I'm kidding. We don't have Patreon. You fucking kidding me?
And if we did, it'll be closed by now because nobody donates.
No. But you're watching how the sausage is made, people.
Okay, Andrew.
So what?
Let's get started. You want to go down the list, or you? Oh wait, no. What is it? What is the background? I'm gonna ask you questions because you're the one who answers questions.
Okay. So what is a background? So backgrounds, as far as I know, backgrounds are something that only popped up in 5th edition.
Oh really?
As far as I know for a fact they weren't in 3.5. They might have been in 4th edition, but we don't fucking talk about 4th edition. But backgrounds, they are like not so much the lesser part, but probably like the less vital part of character creation, because there's the 3 aspects now where it's like you pick your race, you pick your class, and then you pick your background. You know, obviously your race is going to have direct effect into your class because of racial bonuses and whatnot, and your class is going to be the meat and potatoes of your character because that's just what they can do.
Yeah.
But the background kind of fills in the gaps, but it also provides like sort of character creating guidance, where it even says, and the class is like, oh, if this is your first time building a cleric, and there's a quick build for every class, like if it's your first time building a cleric, go with the Acolyte background. And if you read the Acolyte background, you can see why, because you get proficiencies in religion and stuff like that. But it also gives you some basic starting equipment, like a certain amount of gold and some role-playing stuff like incense, investments, and stuff like that.
So let me ask you this. So in 3.5, if there was not back, because I see backgrounds a lot as in they help you have an idea and they help you flesh it out, right? Because it gives you appropriate tools that you maybe wouldn't think about having. Mm-hmm. And 3.5, how was that tackled?
It was just you. In 3.5, like I said, to the best of my knowledge, as far as I know, you just pick your race, you pick your class, and then your backstory is just whatever you want it to be. And then there was like a list of equipment and stuff, and then you can just kind of cobble together one, but it wasn't like oh, I am a barbarian with the Outlander background. Like, no, you could be like, I'm just a barbarian and I just came into this town X amount of days ago, blah blah blah. Like there wasn't really that kind of guidance like there was in 5th edition, where it's like, no, this was your character, and you know, these are your traits and ideals and bonds and flaws and stuff like that. That the whole bonds and flaws, that wasn't a thing. Like that was there was no personality things like that. It was just like,
it was just how you would replay it.
It would be like, oh, you're chaotic neutral. Okay, this is what chaotic neutral people usually do, and then that explains your whole personality. Right. But you didn't have traits and ideals and stuff like that. So this kind of fleshed out more of the role playing aspect insofar as giving direction.
Yeah, I think I kind of appreciate that, because especially as somebody who is new to D&D, mm-hmm. right? Like, you start with the backgrounds from the book, you read down your background so you kind of get an idea of who you are, and that just kind of like shapes you into how you're gonna play your character. Yeah, because you know, a lot of the things that new players might do is they fall into playing their character as themselves.
Yeah,
which, I mean, it's fair. You can do that if you want to, but the point, one of the big appealing things of D&D and role playing games in general is that you can role play anybody you want to be.
But also, not only that, but that also allows for
20 grams of sugar.
Ooh, man! just if oh god, he's going into a diabetic coma. let me Uber you someone that will send you. Anyways, but the personality traits and the background thing that will also help a DM to decide when to give inspiration, because that way you can't just be like a stereotypical chaotic neutral asshole and be like, oh, that's what my character would do, and then the DM's like, okay, well, I guess I'll give you inspiration for that. But like if it's written down, like, oh no, I have this personality trait or flaw, and my character is in a situation where I personally, as a person, would want to do something, but my character's flaw is doing something detrimental, and I have to do that. I would reward inspiration for that, because you are playing to your character. You know, it's so easy to bend the flaws and personality traits to better suit a situation. But but like for instance, that moment where we were up in the mountains in Rhyme, and you were like, I don't want to use my spells because they hurt people. I honestly should have given you inspiration for that. I was like kind of getting on the cusp of burnout at that point, and so I was like, okay. but like that was worthy of inspiration, because you were playing into something that happened to your character. Whereas if it was just like, oh, I'm a rogue and I stab people because I'm a rogue and that's what my character does, like, no, fuck off. Like that, you know, you're just being a chaotic neutral butthead. So in that aspect, the personality flaws can also help with the DM, or not just the flaws, but like the personality aspects, traits and stuff like that. It can also help with the DM and helping distribute rewards like inspiration and stuff like that.
And I feel like you're also not tied to just the ones from the book, right?
No, absolutely not.
And I don't know about you, but like, I don't know if you've seen my character sheet recently on Rime of the Frost Maiden, but there's a lot of new thing in there. Yeah. Including throws up at the sign of blood and afraid of doors, and that shit. That none of that is in the book.
Well, it says straight up at the beginning of the backgrounds chapter that the backgrounds that they provide for you is like a guideline. Like any of this can be changed at any given time. This is all just for inspiration and stuff like that. And there is actually an option to where mechanically you can customize your own background, to where you can just have it be like, oh, I'm this person, and I have a tool proficiency in this, and I have 2 skill proficiencies, blah blah blah, as long as it's like justified, you know. And like obviously the DM's gonna have to go over and be like, okay, yeah, that's good, and give it the okay. But there is a way to customize, and including personality traits and flaws and bonds and ideals and all that good stuff. So really, it's not like you have to pick a background that's in the PHB or campaign setting or what have you. Those are just kind of building blocks to sort of like, you know, oh, hey, this is how it mechanically works. Okay, I can take this template and then make my own background on it.
Yeah, also, yeah, and I think, you know, we kind of mentioned a little, or you mentioned a little bit of the background specific for campaigns, but usually those are a good idea to use, especially when in session 0. Like, some of those backgrounds can tie the group together. Kind of for Descending to Avernus was very much like that. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, some of it is flavoring, but then there is also some mechanical leaning into the setting. Like, I know specifically the one for Curse of Strahd had to do with like monster hunting kind of a thing, where it's like, oh, you gain like some sort of like advantage on tracking certain monster types or something like that. And I remember the one in Avernus was particularly for like essentially just being Batman. Yeah. So and that those leaned into the settings, but then again, like I said, you don't have to follow those backgrounds. I don't think anybody picked the Curse one background for Curse of Strahd, and we were totally fine with it. It didn't like break the game. That came much later. But I don't know. Do you want to go through some of these backgrounds? Oh wait, hold on. Another thing that I want to say is that if you're having trouble coming up with like a backstory for your character, that's where the backgrounds come in handy. To where it's like, okay, I want to make a character, but I'm not entirely sure like what their backstory is in conjunction with this campaign setting. well, then that's when you go through them like, oh, okay, this one gave me an idea. Like I could totally like yes, of course my rogue can be like a charlatan or something, and they're they're kind of like
I've used it before. I've used it before a little bit like kind of backwards almost, where like I had an idea of like what my background what my character. I had an idea what my character was.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how to tie it to the game itself.
Right.
And I didn't want to make my own. I was like, well, forget it, right? And then I looked at some of them, and I found the ones that match. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty close. I like this. And it makes sense because,
Well, my like favorite thing to do is be like, okay, I want to run this character. And I'll go by class first. I always go by class first. And it'd be like, okay, I want to pick this character. But then it'd be like, but wait, what if this character had this background? And then that's where like the story, their personal story comes in, and be like, wait, how did someone from this background end up as this class? And it's like, okay. And then you throw them into the campaign setting. I'm like, okay, that's kind of okay. I can see that, like as long as you have like a good justifiable, well, no, I mean, even if you don't really have a justifiable reason, like you can totally pull off being like, oh, I'm a warlock and a sailor. Well, how'd that happen? Well, you have to read my backstory to find out.
Yeah, I worship Cthulhu.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine you became a sailor and then the warlock part happened. Like that
happened later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then if it's something that's like I'm a paladin and an outlander, you're like, wait a minute, ooh, what happened there?
He was outcast.
Yeah, exactly. Or he could have been part of like a noble holy order of knights or something, and they got destroyed and they had to scatter throughout the land and crap like that. So he just had to learn how to live off the land, and boom, there's your backstory. I literally just came up with that now. So. All
right, let's go down some of the backgrounds, the ones from the PHP. All right, ABC order, not alphabetical. ABC order.
Okay.
First one, Acolyte.
Acolyte.
For me, this was the man of the cloth, the one that's praying, the one that grew in a church, and wait, wasn't your assassin an acolyte?
No, no. My assassin was actually, I was debating doing the acolyte, but I went with the background exclusive to Avernus. I forget the actual name of it.
I think it was the faceless.
The faceless, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, but I was like, there was a long time where like, oh, should they be an acolyte or should they be a faceless? Because it both works.
Yeah. So this is more. I always think of the acolyte. Obviously, I mean it's pretty straightforward, but the one that whatchamacallit, like the cleric, the one that wants to bring honor to their church and whatnot. What is an interesting way to put a twist on that?
For the acolyte, I would say have something that's, well, obviously have something that's not obvious. Be like an acolyte. Be so the recommended, I think there's two classes that are recommended for acolyte. I know for a fact cleric is one of them, and maybe the paladin is like a recommended.
Yeah,
either that, or I think paladin is noble, one of the two. But I think it'd be really neat to have like a warlock be an acolyte. It'd be like, whoa, hold on, like how is a warlock an acolyte? Well, there is a celestial patron, and maybe they weren't like part of a monastery. Maybe they weren't like in the system of like a traditional like Catholicism style temple.
They were in the caves down deep within.
Yeah,
they have their own religion. But
maybe they're just like a street preacher, and all of a sudden God's like, no, you are the truest incarnation of my religion, and stuff like that. And like that would be a very interesting combination where a warlock, which is usually like, oh, demons and fae, no, I'm an acolyte because I have actually seen God. like
I have talked to them.
The church is a lie. And they're the ones that have the sandwich board that's like the end is nigh.
Yeah. Does an acolyte necessarily have to be like a celestial or good line thing? Couldn't it be like the church of the demon bearded devils.
No,
or something like that.
And that's the thing with religion in 5e. It encompasses the whole aspect. So you could probably have like an acolyte ranger who's like I'm here to protect the forest because I worship like the goddess of the woods or something like that to such an extent that is like my religious virtue that I have to protect this like grove or something like you can have like an acolyte druid that takes that like kind of same step. It's just if you pick an acolyte, I feel like if you pick an acolyte, that's probably going to be like one of the bigger role play heavy backgrounds where it's like, no, my character is religious. like every night, like if they're the cleric, they have the little censer that they swing around to bless the camp and stuff. And if if you're like a druid, you probably like cobble together a shrine or something that you pray to before you go to sleep. So I mean, it's just like I that's also kind of the reason why I lean towards Acolyte a lot, because I have like a weird relationship with dogma and stuff like that. So where I personally don't believe in it, but like I really want my character to.
Yeah, you always do. That's why you make me play Blasphemous.
I mean, it's not many games where like the genre is Catholic guilt. So,
that doesn't happen very often. You're right.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I don't know. It's just something interesting, but whatever.
But then, so the Acolyte gives you advantage not advantage. What is the word I'm looking for? Not perception. Proficiency in insight and religion, which makes sense.
The religion part, yes. The insight. I mean, if we're going just like if you were going with the recommended classes of like cleric, the insight check would probably be a little weird to me, because
why?
Because clerics don't have very good insight last I checked, right? Isn't insight like a
maybe that's why they get proficiency?
Like I can see that being more useful for a class that deals with more like charisma based thing, but obviously the religion one's an obvious thing. But yeah, the insight that might just be more like to level out certain aspects,
to balance it out a little bit. I can see.
Oh, we also forgot to mention that every background has like a mechanical like feature to it. Like for instance, the Acolyte has a Shelter of the Faithful, where if they're in a city that has a temple worshiping a certain god, they can pretty much stay for free there. Free healing and care at the temple, shrine, or other established presence of your faith. So
I don't use that as often.
Nobody uses those.
we kind of used it a little bit when it came to. I lied.
Yeah, nobody uses their background like things. No, that's not true. Beery and Swift have been using their background aspects. I think they're both Outlanders, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I mean, but when it comes to Rime of the Frost Maiden, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but before, like, nobody really, the background were just in the background, no pun intended. But yeah, no, and these,
again, like you said earlier, it's to guide not just the player but the DM as well.
Yeah, because it could be a situation where, like, for some reason, especially in 5e, for some reason you don't have gold, which is unlikely in 5e because you can trip over a log and find 500 gold. But like, if it could be a situation where you're in town, you don't have a lot of money or any money at all, and it's like, okay, we need somewhere to stay for the night so we can get a long rest in, because we are not sleeping in the streets. That guy's got the noble background. He's going to be complaining the entire time.
What are you talking about?
And then that's when your Acolyte character can be like, oh, we can go stay at the Temple of Palor. Like, we're all just gonna have to attend a service, but we'll get 3 hots and a cot for a day. So
you'll have pizza at the end, I promise.
Yeah, we're just in time for the local like spaghetti dinner.
All right. So let's move on down to the Charlatan.
There is none for B, which I think is weird. There's not the
booty dancer.
There's not the beekeeper background.
The beekeeper background,
which is just the Swarm Master Ranger.
That's it. It's just for that specific build.
It literally just says "See Swarm Master Ranger." But no, so the charlatan is kind of like your less dangerous rogue background. Because
Yeah.
there's charlatan and there's criminal, and criminal's like, no, you have a painted target on your back, whereas charlatan is just like the guy, the Tulio Miguel at the beginning of El Dorado, where it's like, oh no, loaded dice, how did that happen? And they're like, haha, running away from trouble. You know?
Literally
Like,
the guys from the Road to El Dorado.
yeah, exactly. Just more like fun-loving, roguish types. Not so much like you know, like I'm an assassin and I've killed people.
Yeah.
You know,
Sitting brooding in the corner of the bar.
yeah. So like your charlatan can be like a card sharp, or someone that actually does deal with loaded dice, or someone that does like the what's it, like the 3-card Monty, that weird the shell game kind of thing.
Yeah, but it also doesn't give you proficiency in disguise and forgery kit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And then this deception and sleight of hand. So there you go. That's what I was looking for, sleight of hand.
yeah.
So quite literally the
Yeah, and like I could see like a charlatan being like their introduction is them like in an alleyway doing the shell game thing where it's like, oh, is it over here? You know, pay attention and stuff like that. And it's like, give me your 5 gold and whatnot. And then like
just like that.
Yeah, and then like their parole officer comes by. It's like, all right, you're gonna have to help these adventurers out and stuff like that. You'll take off like 5 months off your sentence or some crap like that. Like I said, I don't see the charlatan as evil per se, but I do see them as not like, if you have a lawful good charlatan, what's going on there? Like maybe chaotic good at the very.
That's what I was gonna say. Like at least chaotic.
Yeah. But the this one, they have the ability to you can create a false identity, just like
I think when we did Waterdeep, Alex and Heather used the charlatan background.
Okay.
Yeah, which worked pretty well.
Yeah, but this I think this is actually one of the ones that gives you the most gold. No, wait, no, the noble gives you the most gold, hands down. But yeah, some of these I like how some of these backgrounds will have like everything has like 10 to 15 gold, and then when we get to the hermit later on, it's like a copper.
But there's a reason for that.
Yeah,
Andrew.
no, there's totally a reason for it. So what do you think an interesting combination with charlatan would be?
A politician type. Just somebody who's like very straight talking all the time.
Oh, okay.
Right? But like, man, but that would be a really, really hard to like role play, in my opinion.
Oh, you can have like a cleric charlatan. A cleric charlatan would be disgusting. I would hate a cleric charlatan. That would be the worst.
It'll be a cleric charlatan will be like a TV church type thing.
Like
you know
like a televangelist where it's like
televangelist. There you go.
Like, oh, I'll sprinkle holy water through the TV screen and that'll get rid of COVID or some crap.
Let's get rid of COVID and blows into the screen.
I'm gonna blow the sin away.
Yeah, something like that is the first thing that comes to mind.
We need your help bringing Elturel back. Give us your credit card number. If you donate,
or something a little bit more fun, or I don't know how it will play out, but maybe like a paladin charlatan as well. Because like paladins are such a like knights, you know, like, oh, this is my ground. I have an oath of whatever, and like how would you play a charlatan into that?
It could be someone that's like, you could be like a Knight Templar, like someone that went to the Crusades, because like, oh yeah, I'm here to reclaim the Holy Land, and it's like I'm really just here for the plunder. Yeah. Oh man, a paladin, you're either like super good or completely scummy. There's like no middle ground for a paladin. But like a charlatan, like there are certain backgrounds that don't work with certain classes. Like, how would a charlatan druid work? Like, what? But like a charlatan monk, I can see a charlatan monk where it's someone that's like, oh, they lived in the mean streets of Baldur's Gate, and they, you know, this is how they learned to survive by being a pickpocketing kind of a thing, and like maybe they just picked up on some martial arts along the way, or at least just learned how to fist fight. Like if you're
I like to imagine like if it's a monk, he's like the type of fighter who like throws fights and like, you know, fakes being injured and like gets paid for the tough boyfriend to like beat up a guy.
Yeah, there you go. He works for the mafia and something like that, and it's like you're gonna go down to the third round or something like that, and then
yeah. But it's like super tough, like
it's like
that'd be pretty interesting in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you have an interesting combination, like obviously some of these backgrounds are going to lean towards a certain class, but if you do the work and you manage to link a class that's not obvious to a background that's not obvious to each other, like you can have a very interesting combination there. Like a Charlatan Wizard. Have you ever read any of the Terry Pratchett books?
No.
Okay. The main character of the first two books, Rincewind, he's a Charlatan Wizard. He literally just like, he's a wizard. He's part of the Academy of Wizards, but he's so bad at it that like he doesn't know any spells, so he just like pretends to cast spells and there's one part where he's in a bar fight, and it's like, oh, I'm going to cast a spell on this guy, and he starts like waving his hand, doing like incantations, and then literally just kicks the dude in the balls and runs. So that's a Charlatan Wizard where it's like they didn't go to.
How will you do that mechanically though?
Well, I mean, just be like, oh, I'm a wizard and stuff like that, and I just happen to steal someone's book or something, like, oh crap, maybe I do have magical powers or something like that. A charlatan sorcerer, I could tell a charlatan sorcerer has huge potential for being a scumbag, because
100%.
Because that's a very charisma-based class. You'd be like, oh, you want to see some real magic? And then, doing 3-card Monty with the mage hand. Oh man, that'd be so disgusting. I love it. Oh god.
All right, what's next?
Criminals. So
I think this is if there was ever like the background for a rogue, I think everybody picks criminal.
I could see, but
because you get deception and stealth.
Yeah.
Proficiency. I mean,
but I can also you also get proficiency with thieves' tools as well. Which it's like, if you're a rogue and you don't have proficiencies with thieves' tools, what the hell are you doing? I'll
reevaluate.
I'll let you be like a detective or something like that. But even then, like if you're like a hard-boiled like Dick Tracy style detective, you're like, yeah, we gotta. I accidentally just jimmied the lock. Okay, well, while the door's open, let's go check it out. But I actually think the criminal has a wider breadth of capability than initially thought of, because if you attach criminal with pretty much any class, that already sets up like kind of a backstory. It'd be like, oh, I'm like, obviously rogue is the big one, but if you're like, oh, I'm a criminal fighter, like, okay, well, this guy was like some kind of wet worker, or you know, like he was probably like a mob enforcer or something like that, and he has to help clear out these ancient catacombs with goblins, like, you know, Suicide Squad style, to take time off, or especially if you're like a Gloomstalker Ranger, like the criminal background can work really well for you. Like that's how you make a sniper, is by having the Gloomstalker Ranger criminal, where it's just like, I got eyes on the target. And they use their magic to make a little red bead show up on the forehead. So
why? I don't know, but they still do it
for intimidation. But I mean, but a criminal barbarian would be an interesting combination, because like, you know, it's
well, I can. That's more of like a brawler, like, you know, brute force criminal.
Yeah, as long as I mean, if we're going the easy route, as long as you stay away from like the totem barbarian, I could totally see a berserker barbarian being a criminal.
Yeah,
like this guy, he got in a bar fight and just didn't know his own strength and accidentally killed the guy, and now he's wanted for like, not murder, but like involuntary manslaughter or something.
Or we could have a cleric criminal.
A cleric criminal.
He's hear me out. He's a televangelist who asked for money,
and he got caught.
and he got caught.
Yeah.
we keep going back to televangelists all the time, aren't we?
Well, I mean, but I also had an idea for a cleric that had a criminal background where he was a reformed criminal, but he his story was he had already gotten caught, and his introduction to the campaign is him getting out of prison, like his last day in prison. He's being sent out with all of his clothes and whatnot. And so he still has the criminal background because he's lived like 20 odd years just doing that.
Right.
But while he was behind bars, he found religion. So, so that way he can have the criminal background and still like probably be good aligned, but he has to like wrestle with that idea that like, oh no, I still have criminal connections, and it's like, oh, I don't want to have to do this, but my friends need help. So all right, I know a guy. I'm not gonna like this.
Yeah, the reluctant every time I get out, they pull me back in.
Yeah, exactly.
Type.
And that could also set like a good idea for like, oh,
like Ant-Man.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Ant-Man. Yeah, Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah,
like
okay.
But he could be what you call it? Not an alchemist. It's an alchemist subclass. What am I thinking
Artificer?
of? The class. Artificer, like an artificer who like got caught.
An artificer criminal would be amazing. That's literally just a gun runner. Like that's
exactly.
Like that's someone that's like making bootleg spells or some shit like that. Oh no.
The idea we were talking about.
An artificer. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to the guns episode. But like an artificer criminal could be someone that's like making like bootleg magic stuff. Like, oh, it's built of giant strength, but like it's not actually a giant. It's more like an Etten. But who's gonna know?
Who's gonna know the difference?
It's the same. You got an 18 strength. What's the problem? and the cops come in. It's like no, I was holding this for my cousin or some crap.
Yes.
But I think the criminal background has probably one of the more useful mechanical features where it's like criminal contact, where it's you always have a reliable liaison no matter what town you're in.
We've been using the crap out of that in Rhyme.
Yeah, a little bit. but you can always pull the I know a guy card no matter where you're at. You could be like, as long as you're in civilization, you'd be like, I know a guy. and that kind of provides depth for your character where he's like, okay, wait, I thought you said you never left Waterdeep. How do you know a guy in Neverwinter? And
don't worry about it.
It's just like, shut up though. Like, do you really want to know?
Trust me, I know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy.
Possible deniability. Okay, don't worry about it.
How about you don't get stuck on the details? And you said you needed my help. A helping hand's a helping hand, clean or dirty.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. True criminal entertainer. Is this the background you're gonna go with for the next?
Actually, yeah.
For your next build?
I was debating going with either entertainer or charlatan, but I'm like, no. I want to go with entertainer because I just want to be a bad bard. I don't want to be a criminal scumbag. I just want to be like an annoyance to the rest of the crew.
So Dandelion for
yeah, exactly. It's like, please go away. Like, you're not doing anything wrong, but please go away.
I'll give you $100 to fuck up.
I'd take it. For at least,
money's money.
Yeah, I mean, shit, $100? You kidding me? That's more than enough for a couple of days at this end. Have you seen Saltmarsh? This place is a shithole. Anyways, but the entertainer background, pretty much okay. So obviously, Bard's going to be your go-to for the entertainer.
Yeah.
However, literally anything charisma based can be entertainer. Yeah. Once again, we can go with cleric for entertainer. and
apparently, cleric can be anything.
Clerics can do anything. We have already established that in the cleric.
Yeah,
episode.
it's true. Check our top what class episode. Class rank.
A cleric entertainer would probably be like the youth minister, like the cool guy. Yeah. like, all right, kids, let's talk about Jesus, and sits in a chair backwards.
Yes.
And he's just like, oh God, please stop. we're gonna rap about Christ.
I have a YouTube video for that.
Please stop. Anyways, but obviously the bard's gonna be your go-to for entertainer. But there's actually a very interesting variant at the back, because some of these backgrounds will have variants. And like the criminal one has the spy variant, which again that can line up with like rangers and fighters and stuff like that. But the variant entertainer for entertainer option is gladiator, which I'm like, that is such a cool idea. Like,
didn't even think about it though.
Yeah,
but they were entertainers to their time.
Yeah,
quite literally like superstars.
I mean the whole like it's called the entrance of the gladiators. Like that's the name of the song. So yeah, you can have like a strength-based character that doesn't have a lot of charisma, but as long as you go, are you not entertained at the end of it? You know, people are like, kill him, fucking kill him. You know? Yes. And I mean, what better way to introduce like a strength-based character that is also charismatic? Like have a paladin being introduced as a gladiator is such a strong entrance idea. How
about this? How about a barbarian with very low charisma as an entertainer?
I think that would work because
no, not as a gladiator. It's an entertainer.
So he's
how about this? How about
no.
He becomes
a bear totem barbarian. That's an entertainer. That way he's the bear on the tricycle with a little fez hat. I mean, as long as he's got good dexterity and he can juggle.
Hey, thank you for sharing the stream. Sorry, somebody's sharing the stream.
That's fine. But I mean, as long as he has good dexterity and he can juggle, I mean, he's good.
No, this is what I was thinking. Maybe he's like, he really wants to be an entertainer, right? And he's been failing his whole life because he doesn't have good management with words.
And
but then he hits
anger management and stuff like that.
No. That, but then he goes into a town that he actually people like he says like the most horrendous poetry ever, right? Like it doesn't rhyme. There's no reason to it at all, but people love it. It's so avant-garde. Oh my god, it's just great. And boom, you got your entertainment.
It's like I call this slam poetry. And people are like, okay. You just get.
Wait, hold on. No, he has a hammer and a watermelon.
Yeah, it's Gallagher. Yeah. I mean, I could totally see like the comedian.
He's a prop comedian.
Like oh god, the lowest form of comedian. I mean, have you seen Carrot Top? He looks like a barbarian now.
He does actually. He's huge now. Hey, he has a house on the street from where I live.
Does he really?
Yeah, you can see him over there.
I mean, he also has a permanent residency in Las Vegas, so good on you, Carrot Top.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he hit the big time at last, but I mean, I could totally see like a barbarian comedian be someone that's bombing, and then someone's like, "Boo, you suck," and then they just go on a tirade and wins the crowd over.
And then he thinks it's great.
Yeah. He turns out just to be like a really good blue comedian. He'll stick to like stuff like, what's the deal with airline food? And then someone's like, get off the stage. Like, you know what? Go fuck yourself. And people are like, yeah. Yeah. I could totally see that. But I mean, there's comedian.
So what you're saying?
Comedian is unfortunately not one of the options that they give you for entertainer. But I could. Well,
I'll make it work.
There's Jester. I'll do that.
That's funny.
But I mean, really, as long as your character has proficiencies with an instrument, boom, they're an entertainer. Just because their music doesn't weave magic or something like that, they can be an entertainer. Or what?
Since you're gonna play a bard, are you gonna be singing?
Absolutely not, because I can't carry a tune.
That's the point. People hate you for a reason.
Oh no. My bard is talented. He's just a scumbag.
Oh,
okay. He's just annoying, and he does and he's like should have left this gig years ago, but he's got nowhere else to go because Saltmarsh is the peak of his career. Like, this is it. This is the big time for him. And he had dreams of aspiration, but it's like, nope, that's it. You're Saltmarsh, dude. That's where you're at. You found your spot. So he's like a permanent guest. At like he owes like the local inn like 500 something gold because he's been living there his whole life.
Oh man.
No.
Next. Folk hero.
Well, hold on. I was gonna say but
we're moving on here.
Hold on. But the feature for
holy shit, hold on a second. We're an hour in, just so you know.
And you were like, what are we gonna talk about? but the feature for entertainer is also really cool in of itself because it's the feature's called by popular demand. And it's like, as long as you perform for this like tavern or something, you get to stay there for the night. Which could be something that's really cool. But it's like, if your character is not well liked, like, yeah, they could technically stay there for the night, but maybe the crowd gets a little like, hey, get off the stage or something like that. But that also, like, for right,
they have a cage. They have a cage around the stage.
Yeah. Beer glasses are being thrown like that scene in fucking Blues Brothers. But I mean, like, let's take our current group situation in Rhyme right now. Like, one of the people in Rhyme has an actual target like on their back. Like, there's a bounty on them. But if I don't know, say Octavia is going to perform for the crowd because, oh, we need a place to stay, like, that kind of puts the spotlight on the group, and everyone's like, okay, well, now we know where Barry is.
Right.
That could. So it's like
that could be.
It's like the benefit is we get a free room and board, but now everyone knows where we're at.
Well, like, if when you read the Witcher books, Jaskier is like that. Like, he's always in trouble because everybody's looking for Geralt, and all of his songs are about Geralt.
Yeah. So, and I'm just saying, like, if you're the kind of DM that likes to really dig into the mechanics and pull, like, get as much juice as you can out of them, that would probably be one of the ones where it's like, oh, you can do this, but just say no, you are getting an actual spotlight being put on either you or your group or something like that. So. Anyways, I just thought that was a neat thing to touch on. All right, folk hero. For some reason,
animal handling and survival.
For some reason, they get a proficiency in land vehicles. I don't understand folk hero. Actually, I don't imagine when you read folk hero, you're thinking as like a local hero, but. When you read like the proficiencies and stuff like that, you kind of get the idea that, like, oh no, this guy has a bit of myth making around them, like it doesn't seem like I think they should have went with something other than folk hero for the name. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I wanted to say, like, folk hero is like one of the ones that I always read and I'm like, that doesn't seem right, and then I move to something else.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe folk hero. Like, we need to focus on the folk part of it because a lot of it is like rustic, like the feature is actually just called rustic hospitality. So you have the entertain. Like, I see the folk hero as the countryside version of entertainer, where the entertainer, like, no matter what town they go in, people are gonna know their name and stuff like that. Whereas the folk hero, it's like, if you like. No matter what countryside you're in, people are like, oh, you're that famous person that wrangled that bull that was going to tear down the blah blah blah,
right.
So then we can stay in this guy's barn just as long as we don't, I don't know, touch, like the whole like farmer's daughter situation. Be like, whoa, hey, calm down, So
Henry from Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah, exactly. We're like in the cities, like, who the fuck are you? Get out! You look like you're covered in cow crap and whatnot. but you go to like any of the small towns and people are like, oh, Henry's come to see us and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, I can see this being the character where in the big city they kind of get lost in the crowd, but like when they come back to their hometown, like all the little kids be like, oh my god, he's back, hey! And he's like all right, I got some stories to tell, gather around and stuff like that, and be like, hey, can I need a place to stay? And something like, oh, yeah, don't worry about it, it's fine.
What is an interesting twist on the folk hero, the way you're talking about it there?
See, that's the thing. The folk hero to me seems so narrow.
it's very niche.
by comparison there. Like obviously like Ranger's gonna be your go-to for folk hero, just because you got animal handling, survivaling, and then you got land vehicles and stuff like that. But I think it'd be kind of cool to have like a fighter folk hero, or maybe like a what's the
a sorcerer folk hero.
A sorcerer folk hero would be cool too, because I think isn't animal handling.
It doesn't require them studying.
No, I mean, and it would be cool. It just be like, oh, we have this kid, and he's a little bit special, you know, like he's a little strange, and he was able to kowtow this like griffin that was gonna like tear up our crops or something like that. And turns out he has magical powers. What is the order of paladins, the order of ancients, where it's like, you know, like maybe like someone like, oh god, I'm trying to pull up something for order of ancients paladin. where it's like they were a fighter, and then they like had to go like, okay, I'm gonna go root out these hobgoblins that are in our grove or some crap like that. And they were so awestruck by the beauty of nature and stuff like that, like they became a, like, you know, like, oh, I'm duty bound to protect this grove now, and now they're a folk hero because they saved the local town, like hobgoblins from poisoning a well or some crap. But now they're a paladin for, I don't know, name a nature god. I mean, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting one of them.
Why a dead cat?
That's just the saying. I didn't come up with it. Okay, but like a druid folk hero would be pretty. Be like, oh, it's that weird guy that comes into town every once in a while, but he did help us with our crops that one time. So
yeah,
you know, he's gonna smell a little bit like cow crap, but it's okay. He's good people, and you know, the good berries they don't go bad. So I mean, like I can see folk hero would be a more interesting take. Like if you could manage to get like a rogue folk hero, more power to you. I just don't see that happening. Maybe like that's too much work for me, and if that's too much work for me, that's just too much work. And you're talking to the guy that loves making characters. And yeah, this is unfortunately one of the options. I'm just like, nah, that's okay.
Yeah,
I made a folk hero one time, and I didn't even dig into any of the aspects, and I was just like, that's okay. I don't think we used it for anything. It was Karpak. Karpak was a folk hero.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, and I'm like, the only thing that came in handy was that I had proficiency in land vehicles, which came in which came in useful for like the motorcycles and crap like that. But I'm like, everything else, like, when am I gonna get fucking rustic hospitality in this hellscape? Literally. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
So, you know.
All right, moving on. Gladiator.
No, Gladiator. What are you talking about?
In the PHP, I'm looking at her.
No, it goes from folk hero to guild artisan. Gladiator's entertainer.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So we go from one of the most niche backgrounds to the actually most niche background, where it's like guild artisan. Because what's interesting is that every class has like a recommended background. No class recommends guild artisan.
Really?
I think artificer might be the only class that recommends using a guild artisan.
And that didn't come in until like way later.
Yeah, but none of the original classes recommend guild artisan, because it's just you're kind of anchoring your character down like immediately, and it's such like I can see a guild artisan working for something like a Dragon Heist, where it's like the adventure, all the adventure takes place in this one city. We're not going to leave this location, you know, and so like,
and there's a bunch of guilds already in it.
Yeah, and also in Dragon Heist, you own a tavern at one point, so that could be your guild art. Like you can reflavor it to be like, oh, I'm actually just a small.
Finally, the guild artisan gets some.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But a guild artisan is very much like, okay, this is going to be the campaign where we run a bakery. You're just like, what? Just listen.
Let's go with it. It'll be fun. I promise.
Yeah, we're going to have... Why is nobody having fun? I specifically...
requested it.
Specifically requested.
I specifically order it.
Yeah. But like the guild artisan... Like, if we're leaning more towards backgrounds being used in play, the guild artisan is going to allow for a lot more slow burn stuff. But if we're going for like a more action-based, like a normal campaign setting, the guild artisan is probably just going to completely fall by the wayside, unfortunately. but I mean, but that doesn't mean it's not useless. It's just like, like what would a guild artisan in Curse of Strahd be?
Yeah, or an Avernus.
Yeah, or an well, I mean, I can see a guild artisan being like, when you come up to that camp, like, okay, one business owner to another, what's the actual price?
Yeah, true.
Like you can use your guild
or like
artisan.
Cholt.
Yeah, well, like. There are possibilities. I'm not saying guild artisan is useless, but
It's useless.
It's incredible. It's not useless. There's no such thing as a useless feature in D&D. Okay, there's no useless features, only useless DMs. Okay. But I mean, like a guild artisan, like I could see like obviously a guild artisan is probably going to lean towards more like maybe like a wizard can be a guild artisan.
Sorry.
That's all right. But like I could see like a wizard probably being like a guild artisan where it's like, oh, I use my magic to like identify magical equipment and like appraise stuff like that. Obviously, an artificer is going to be a great guild artisan character because they're someone that can literally just make magic items and like alchemy and guns if you're picking that subclass. But I mean, like I don't see a lot of interesting takes on this. Like maybe a rogue can be a good guild artisan where it's like, oh, we're like the guild of thieves or something like that, or like like the guild of assassins, like there's that kind of thing. But I mean, like, I don't know, like a ranger guild artisan or like a barbarian guild artisan. It's like I said, this is one of the more niche.
It's very niche.
Very niche
for sure.
And this is probably going to be something where it's like, if you're going to play a guild artisan, you really need to play it up so that way it doesn't completely fall by the wayside. Like you need you need to take active steps to be like, oh hey, I have these features, Otherwise,
they give you proficiency in artisans tools and an insight and persuasion. So even like a lot of classes give you already insight and persuasion.
Yeah, but I mean, like this could probably be more like you're dealing with the pawnbroker kind of guy. Like, okay, I'm maybe you can use your guild artisan abilities to actually appraise something, because you know how like right now, well, how we were like in Ryan be like, oh, you got a gem, how much is it worth? I don't know, you'll have to go take it in town to get it appraised. Well, a guild artisan would be like, I'm just going to use my knowledge and look at it and pull out the little like oh, this gem's worth 15 gold easy, and then when someone tries to be like, oh, I'll give you 5 gold for it, I'll be like, oh, hold on there, bucko.
Yeah, but I mean, then again, like a lot of groups don't really use that, you know what I mean? Like in Ryan, because we set it up to be that way, but I feel like a lot of DMs out there are just like, oh, you got a diamond worth 50.
Yeah, or you find a piece of art that's worth 500 gold or some crap like that. But if you're the kind of DM that's like, I don't want to give the gold price, I want the players to kind of like figure it out, then that's what it would obviously lean more towards. But it all depends. These things are all dependent on parties and stuff like that, and sometimes even campaigns, because like I said, the guild artisan, I don't see it getting a lot of play unless it's like a slow burn localized campaign. Like Dragon Heist would be like the campaign for it.
100%.
So oh well, on to the next one.
Guild Merchant?
No, that's part of that's the variant for guild artisan.
This list I found is throwing me off.
That's a
Hermit.
Probably one of the more interesting backgrounds, because,
and I think one of the most common ones. I think a lot of our group people have used Hermit,
because,
or maybe it's just sour constantly.
I mean, it sets up a pretty good like it. This is to me like the warlock of backgrounds, where you have a backstory already wrapped
incorporated
up. Yeah, exactly. Because like, oh, there's a reason why this dude has like seeked hermitage and is like isolating themselves away from society. However, one of the unfortunate things is this is the poorest background. You start out with 5 gold. You better stretch that bad boy out. But I mean, I honestly find like the Hermit to be one of the more fascinating backgrounds, because it's like, oh, if you have a like Ranger Hermit or Druid Hermit or Monk Hermit, like those make sense because those are all like like kind of in tune with nature or something like that.
Nature, yeah.
But if you have like a barbarian hermit or like a fighter hermit, like okay, there's
Paladin.
like a paladin hermit, like okay, there's a history there. Like there's a like why did he leave society, or why did he get forced to leave society?
I think wizard hermit is more interesting to me.
A wizard hermit
because
it's like go on.
Well, I was gonna say wizards can like, deal with like really crazy, deep, arcane shit.
Yeah, and,
like that could borderline be like the bad guy.
yeah, a wizard hermit is see what this is one of those things where like leaning into a stereotype makes it cooler, because like a wizard hermit would be like, oh, that way like we don't go near that guy's house because like weird lights and shit like pop up around it and stuff. Like no, it's just a guy that's just messing with spells and stuff like that. But because he doesn't want to deal with like the plebeians of society, he lives out in the woods somewhere. Like and he knows just enough just to live off the land, and that's about it. You know, like,
right?
But yeah, he's definitely one of those wizards that uses his spells to like, you know, like get like clean up. Like Merlin from Sword and Stone is the perfect wizard hermit. You know, like he uses spells to clean the dishes while he's studying. Yeah, you know, and that would be like almost all of my characters have like at least a little bit of hermit, and because I think it's fascinating. I love the idea of a hermit character. You know, like a cleric hermit makes sense. Like to me, I feel like the hermit background makes the most sense with almost all the classes.
Yeah, it's also an easy entry point, right? You don't have to think too much about like the society and the cities and whatever else. No, you just like, oh, I'm a hermit. I just I do my thing.
Yeah, I mean, every city, every society has like an outlier of houses that are in the woods or outside the city walls or whatever.
The walls.
So boom, that's where my character lives. You know, that way they can still justify like having some passing knowledge of what's going on, like the local news, but they're also cut away from it to the point where it's like it doesn't really affect them. You know, and then maybe the story would be like, all right, well now it's my problem. You know, but like a warlock hermit immediately says, don't go near that guy. a warlock hermit would be like,
oh, warlock hermit. I was like, wait, what? It's like, yeah. That
like
that's why you see weird shadows around his cave.
Like that would be like if you want to get the warlock hermit player character, that's like a mini quest for the beginning of the campaign for like the other guys. Like you have to go out of town, go to this forest and recruit the warlock hermit, and you're gonna see some weird shit.
But that's okay, he's friendly.
Yeah, but I mean,
just don't look at him in the eyes.
Yeah, he's that would be a situation where you open the hut door and you're like, oh, this guy is completely bonkers. There's like chicken bones like strewn on strings like from the roof and crap like that, and you look at him and he has like a weird swirl in his eyes, like, okay, this dude is all right. But no, I love the hermit background, despite the fact that it's also the poorest background. But I just, there's so much easy potential with the hermit background.
100%.
Yeah.
Keep talking. I'm not gonna my book.
Joke's on you. I'm not gonna talk.
Oh no.
No, but the only thing that I was actually kind of weirded out by is like I could have swore hermits had proficiency with an instrument, but I guess not. Mm-mm. I guess the Outlanders do.
Yeah. No, I always thought of them like medicine healers, like the guy who like puts a bunch of leaves in his mouth and then just rubs it on the wound.
Yeah, but I'm like you're living by yourself. How are you gonna entertain yourself? You know, there's
plenty of ways to do that.
Okay, but in a PG setting, how would you entertain yourself? You know, just be like that Rick and Morty thing where I saw a particularly curvy log.
Yeah.
But I mean, but it. I would actually be kind of okay with just sort of like hand waving, like, yeah, you know proficiency in like how to play a lute or something like that, because you got to do something. You know, you can't just be like sitting at like watching the dandelions grow in your garden all day. Like you got to do something. You know, you gotta. So I'd be like, yeah, sure.
Your entertainment is surviving, Andrew.
Yeah, well, entertainment is not dying of cholera out in the wilderness. I mean, that's
It's like a really fun game that if you fail, it's really painful.
I guess dysentery. That's your entertainment. All right, so we go from one of the most interesting backgrounds to what I think is also one of the most interesting backgrounds, and that's noble, where you put noble with anything, and you already have like a built-in backstory. So the noble is, whereas Hermit was the poorest background, noble is the like richest background. They start out with a whopping 25 gold, which is actually a lot if you're level 1.
Yep.
But they also have the ability to have the common folk just accommodate them because they're nobility, which I'm surprised you haven't used that in Rhyme. Because
I guess, but I always thought that Octavio was never really like somebody who take advantage of people.
Yeah, but you can also, I mean, well, you've kind of grown out of your petulance now, but I mean, like,
yeah, that, and also like he didn't have a problem dropping 2 gold per room.
Well, you also weren't knowledgeable about money, which makes sense for a noble person. Where they'd be like, it's
or a young noble.
Yeah, it's a bowl of soup. How much is it? 5 gold. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Jesus Christ! 5. Yeah, and you just paid off that like tavern's like life savings or something like that. The noble, they get like proficiencies in history and persuasion, which persuasion I get. History is an interesting one. I guess it's sort of like, like learn.
Well, they're studious.
Yeah, learn from your predecessors kind of thing. They get a proficiency in a gaming set, which I think is also kind of interesting. And they can know any one language of their choice, blah, blah, blah.
What the hell is my gaming set? I don't think I ever picked one.
You probably should. That would be handy. But like I said, you pair this up with any class, pretty much any class, and you already have like a rolled in story. Like cleric, noble, okay, that makes sense because nobilities would be like, oh, if you're, the firstborn would obviously be the heir to the throne, the secondborn would probably be like a knight or something, and then your thirdborn would be sent to a monastery. Like that's just how nobility worked. A bard noble, okay, well, that makes sense too. Like pretty evident in today's society, like a lot of your famous musicians are people that kind of had help along the way because you need money. But a barbarian noble is an interesting mix. The only way I can see a barbarian noble being played is if it's like someone that's filled with petulant rage. So like someone that's just like, I didn't get my way and I'm being a baby about it and I just rage out. But I mean, I mean that's like a joke character thing, but I'm pretty sure you can justify it.
A barbarian, I can see a barbarian noble being like, do you know the movie Black Panther?
Mm-hmm.
The gorillas crew that was like the one that was like in the mountains.
Yes.
They still have a nobility system. They were just rough and tough and big and
No, I'm not saying there's a way you can't make a serious character out of it, but I mean I'm just saying you have a nobility that can rage. All right, like to me it's like a crybaby situation. But no, I mean, but you could totally be like, oh, I'm from a
this soup is cold. Sir, it's supposed to be cold.
It's a chilled cucumber soup. What's the problem? but no, I could totally see it being like, oh, I'm the son of a long line of barbarian kings, or like warrior poets kind of a thing. And so like, yeah, I am also nobility, but I haven't forgotten like my lineage or something like that. There is actually, Heather, I'm sorry, but in Elden Ring, there is a barbarian noble. You haven't met them yet, but when you do, you know it. So, anyone who's played Elden Ring knows exactly what I'm talking about. Anyways, but no, I mean, that would be an interesting mix. But like, I think one of the more interesting mixes for noble is warlock and noble. And my first like when I made that connection, my first thought was like a 19th century spiritualist, where it's like where it's like
Oh.
someone that had too much time and money on their hands, like, oh, I'm gonna contact the other side. Oh no, repercussions. For
Oh
my
God, I
actions.
did.
Well. If it is, if it isn't the result of my own actions, where it's like, okay, you want to see what the other side is? All right, here you go. And maybe they learn a little too much. Like maybe that, you know, because like a Ouija board here is like a mundane thing, but like a Ouija board and like Faerun, oh man, you're talking to some actual devils and that, you know. So
I actually imagine also like, I mean, a lot of like Lovecraftian horrors like that, right?
yeah, exactly.
Only the people like with the money and time to study this shit are the people who are able to touch the other side.
I was like, oh yeah, haha. I was able to pay for an expedition deep into the temples of some Choltian forest or something like that. It's like, oh no, it's the artifact of Anthrak or some crap like that, and now I have magical powers against my own whim. But like a wizard noble, perfect, because wizards need a lot of gold. So I could totally see a wizard, but that would also kind of help build your background a bit, because like maybe instead of like maybe the third born, instead of becoming a monk, maybe a cleric monk, not like a wah monk, but like maybe like instead of them seeking religion, maybe they learn the arcane arts or what have you. Obviously we've seen how a sorcerer noble can work, but like a paladin noble makes perfect sense. You know, a fighter noble makes perfect sense. That's actually the variant for nobles at night. So boom, your paladins and fighters right there.
There you go.
You know, like now the actual monk noble, like you're gonna have to do a little bit more work than normal. Like maybe, you know, maybe they came from a long line of like, you know, martial artists or something like that. But then again, it's not like if you're a noble you have to be the king's son. Like you could just be part of like a higher house of society. So I mean, like there are ways you can spin it. There's this is like not like the folk hero. You could totally work with any class on this one. This is probably the other side of the coin for Hermit, where like you smash this together with any class and you kind of have a baked in story.
With a lot of money.
Sorry, I went on a long tangent there.
All right, next one, Outlander.
Okay, so Outlander,
Ranger.
pretty much nature is the big one here. This is going to be perfect for classes like Ranger. Barbarian is actually a good choice for Outlander. Druid is a natural pick. Monk would be an interesting choice. But then like Warlock would be an interesting choice for Outlander. The Nature Domain Cleric would be a cool choice too. Your Oath Ancients Paladins would be a cool Outlander as well. Like
Tempest Monk, maybe.
Yeah, a Tempest Monk, exactly. Or like the Way of the Four Elements Monk.
Yep.
Your Stormborn Sorcerer would be a good choice for Outlander. Like pretty much this is going to be the Outlander is the background where it's like the traveling hero. Like, you know, they go from town to town, which is weird because you think folk hero would be like that, but it's kind of not. But
folk hero will be more. Oh, it kind of makes sense. Folk hero like one town, or a couple of towns nearby.
Yeah, relegated to one town. Whereas Outlander, where it's just like you're just the one that's constantly on the road, like, you know, like wherever you lay your head is home, kind of a deal. And it does give you a little bit of an idea of what living on the road is like. Like, you know, like the Wanderer feature has it to where you can always, like, I think you can always find food, fresh water, that if you know the lay of the land, kind of a deal, and you have a pretty good memory for map making or just cartography in general, which helped us out when you guys were climbing the mountains. And so like, yeah, you can. I could see an Outlander is probably not as crazy of a choice as it would seem. I could see Outlander being a pretty natural choice for a lot of classes. Like a Wizard Outlander is like, okay, you're gonna have to do a bit of work connecting those dots, but yeah, no, an Outlander is a pretty good, like, okay, I'm focusing on the exploration aspects of D&D, so I'm gonna pick the Outlander. You know, really don't have much to say outside of that. What's up?
Do you notice that the art on the book, the bow doesn't have a string?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does. It's like very.
It's very, very
thin.
fine. However, it's going behind the lady's back.
Is it? Oh, it is. Wow.
Yeah.
I need a refund.
Wow, Jeremy Crawford, what the fuck is this?
All right, next Sage. This is the one I always imagine of like the wizard meditating and his eyes are just white and he's like incantations all around him.
I actually like this stage because there's a built-in flaw where you treat everybody like morons. Because you're like, I am so much smarter than everybody else.
Yeah.
Sage will probably be like the one where like I have spent my entire life in college, so like I know a lot, but I have not applied that knowledge to a lot.
Yeah,
of
this
stuff.
is like that scientist who, have you seen Bones?
No.
Okay, well she's a sage. You remember Lost?
Oh, you mean someone that's like high intelligence but low charisma?
Yeah.
Where
and everything is like literal.
Yeah, and they say some like normal actual scientific stuff, and someone's like, "Well, could you put that in plain English?" And someone's like, "That is plain English, you fucking moron." And yeah, it's like it's not like they just threw out a bunch of different words, but yeah, no,
a barbarian sage will be pretty funny.
A barbarian. How would that work?
I don't know, but I imagine like you meet the barbarian, you expect him to be like
no, a barbarian sage, the Incredible Hulk. Boom.
There's
you go. Your barbarian sage. just like, all right, we're getting at the combat. But take off their glasses.
Post end war, end game.
Yeah.
Or end game Hulk, where he's like he can talk and control himself.
I could just see like a big, like long-haired, like bristling muscle kind of person, but they have like little glasses on the end of their nose and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna get my rage. Hold on a second. They take the glasses off, fold it up, put it in their case, put it inside their pack, and now I rage.
Shame, and takes off the glasses.
That would be a really cool thing. I would love to have that, where it's like a high intelligence barbarian. but like this obviously plays into like wizards. A bard would be a good sage. But like I don't know about like other classes, like a ranger. I don't see a ranger being a sage.
Yeah, or a rogue,
or maybe
an arcane art. No,
like
arcane trickster.
Yeah, arcane trickster would be a good rogue, where it's like where someone's like, I didn't learn enough. I learned only enough in wizard school. But they're like the Animal House of Candlekeep or something like that. Animal House. And the guy says with thaumaturgy, so it sounds a lot louder than it normally is. God, that barbarian stage idea is fucking awesome. I want to roll with that now. A cleric sage obviously makes sense.
Yeah.
A monk sage kind of makes sense too. Yeah. But yeah, no, this is. I
think this is meant for wizards in my opinion.
Yeah, this is like straight up wizards. But this is gonna be like, okay, you went all into intelligence. All right, this is your background. Yeah. All right.
The next one is Sailor.
Gonna be the most used background probably for the next couple of sessions. Where
I don't know what you're talking about.
Everybody's a sailor. You're a sailor. You're a sailor. Why wouldn't you?
Hey, I'm actually a pirate. Okay.
Well, it's not. What is a pirate but an outlaw sailor? I mean, really, come on. Okay, so sailor. Sailor is the kind of background you would pick if you went more into strength, because they have proficiencies with athletics, but they also have But I mean, sailor is kind of like it's there. It's all right there in the tent. Like you know what a sailor does. Like they're good with ropes, they're good with water vehicles, navigation, that kind of thing. However, it does lead for some very interesting combinations because if you have like a warlock sailor, you're like, okay, what the fuck happened out in the seas that this guy has like great old one powers or something like that?
Yeah.
Or like a stormborn sorcerer sailor, like, okay, they were out in the seas and they got caught up in a magical typhoon, which is a thing. Like there are magical like weather conditions and stuff like that. And that's when like just the natural magic got soaked into their body and now they're a stormborn sorcerer or something. A barbarian sailor, totally easy pick. Same thing with a fighter. A paladin sailor is a bit more interesting. I could see it But you know, like
I could see it more like with like a like a navy
Yeah.
type thing.
yeah,
more than
like
anything.
yeah, exactly, like a Royal Navy kind of a
Yeah.
deal. A Druid Sailor obviously makes sense. They're out in the seas a lot. They're going to be at the forces of nature. So, you know,
Yeah.
having a Druid or even like a Ranger, like on your ship is probably like a must. um,
Mm-hmm.
a Wizard Sailor would be an interesting pick. But yeah, no, like a sailor is a pretty safe choice depending on the setting. Now, if you're obviously like in a landlocked setting, you're like, okay, well, what the hell is a sailor doing all the way in Avernus, or something like, or what's a sailor doing in Barovia? Like, how did you get? There's no where this is quite literally a landlocked continent. How did you get here? You know, this might be also one of the more abused backgrounds. I've heard a lot of RPG horror stories where people were trying to justify using a sailor just so they can have proficiencies with like perception and athletics, where it's like, oh, I'm totally a sailor, and then when they get grilled on it, they have no actual justification for
Right.
it. So it's like, all right, whatever.
I never heard of that.
I mean, like I said, I've only heard of a few of them, but yeah, there is the variant for pirate where if you're anything below chaotic good, then you're a pirate. So, well, that's not true. That's not.
My new character is definitely not a chaotic good.
No. But I think when we all went to Salt Marsh, we're like, all right, goods off the table. Just nobody. I hope nobody picked a good alignment. I want everybody to at least be neutral below. That would be awesome. All right. So going off the sailor, we're going to one of the most natural backgrounds for any martial class, which is soldier. Which I mean, you pick fighter, soldier. Okay, we already have their
Game
backstory.
over.
Like literally, if they can wield a weapon and they're proficient with martial weapons, give them a soldier background. It makes perfect sense. A ranger soldier makes perfect sense. A barbarian soldier makes perfect sense. A cleric soldier is an interesting choice. You might have like a Hacksaw Ridge kind of deal thing going on. You know, like a monk soldier would make perfect sense too, because it's like, yeah, they are a weapon. So you know, but then you have some interesting possibilities. Like you can have a wizard soldier and maybe they're like a battle mage and they learn how, you know, because like in the world of D&D, like it's not like there's a Geneva Convention against using magic in the battlefield. Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
They're going to do any possible thing they can to get the martial advantage. So yeah, why wouldn't there be magic? So you know, a magic sorcerer or like a soldier sorcerer is a natural thing. And you know, I know that like Faerun is like, oh, there's no wars, but it's also a fantasy setting. When in real life, pick a time, there has been a war. You know, so the soldier is the most perfect like background to justify pretty much anything. Like a druid soldier would be an interesting choice. Like maybe they were a soldier and they got so disgusted by the mechanics of war and war machines and stuff like that, they sought solitude and they just became a druid or something like that. But because they grew up like living the soldiering life, they still have those proficiencies, and then now you have like a John Wick situation where it's like, yeah, I think I'm back. You know?
I was thinking more like, what if like a magical force of some sort has like a military druid army?
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be terrifying.
I mean, it could be like Bjorn at the end of that awful Hobbit movie, where you like bring in the eagles and stuff like that. Like, you know, a soldier makes perfect sense, especially.
I think this is like the most standard background for D&D,
especially in such a combat heavy like system like 5e. Yeah. Soldier is perfect for a lot of classes for a lot of different reasons. And because of that,
and then we have Urchin,
probably one of the more interesting backgrounds. I love the idea of Urchin anything. Obviously, Urchin Warlock is the most natural pick, you know, because
Urchin Rogue.
Urchin Rogue is a natural pick too, because you're talking about people that deal with the dregs of society to begin with.
Yep.
But like a Urchin like Ranger, like okay, that makes sense. Like, you know, like maybe they work for some maybe they learn how to hunt rats in the streets of Waterdeep just to survive or something like that. Or like an urchin fighter. Like you're talking about a guy that's like, he cobbled together weapons from like, I don't know, corpses or something in the streets of Baldur's Gate and crap like that. Like an urchin reveals the uglier side of any city that you're in.
Yeah.
And it would be really fascinating to have like an urchin character in like Neverwinter, which is like presented as the most button up, like lawful city. Like, oh no, buddy. There's still a seedy underbelly here. It's just harder to get to. Like the urchin. If you're the kind of DM that really likes to dig into like settings and whatnot, the urchin provides a lot of possibilities for you. That and probably like criminal would be like the two biggest, like, oh, you want to get like this really dangerous like underbelly of a seemingly lawful town. These are going to be the two that will provide that.
Will be an interesting like mix. Like Urchin Wizard?
Urchin Wizard would be good. Some trash magic.
Yeah.
No,
because Urchin Sorcerer kind of makes sense, right? Cause
yeah.
Like, boom, like it just comes. But like to become a wizard, you have to have had some sort of mentorship or money, or like you have to study. Like it's not.
Yeah, like I can see like an Urchin Wizard being someone that like stole a book.
Yeah,
or maybe they stole some guy's bag, like they were a pickpocket and they stole some guy's bag, and there just happened to be like spell components and stuff like that in it.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of just like hawking it for gold, like wait a minute, like magical abilities lead to money, so maybe I can use this for my advantage. Like
Urchin Monk is from Kung Fu Hustle.
Yep, Urchin Monk is a pretty natural pick. An Urchin Cleric would be interesting. Someone that extols the virtue of like the Plague Queen or some crap like that. Like someone, an Urchin Paladin would be a lot of work. Like you will have to be like, okay, I need a good backstory to get to justify an Urchin Paladin, but or maybe it could have been they were a paladin first and their house fell, and now they're just like a hedge knight, and they're literally just like living in the dregs of the city, and like they've had such a fall from grace that they still have a little bit of their paladin abilities, and like maybe their character arc. You'll see, boom, right there, good justifications.
I like to think like an urchin paladin was obviously an urchin, but it started working for like a house, and eventually like working through the ranks. Yeah. Eventually we got drafted into being a paladin for that house.
Yeah. Like it would be
or for that order, I mean.
It would definitely have to be a thing like what came first, the paladin or the urchin part. Like for a warlock, you could totally see urchin first, then warlock. But maybe for a paladin, it'd be like a paladin first and then the urchin part came. Or you can justify it however which way you want, but there will have to be a justification. A bard urchin would be disgusting. just like that guy that's like busking in the side of on the side of the street, but they're like not like, okay, I'll give you money, but I'm also going to give you a wide berth after I'm after I'm done, because I'm giving you money more because I'm afraid of you.
Yeah.
or like those people that that play like the saxophones on like New York subways, where it's like, pay me money to stop playing.
Yeah. Sexy sax man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, urchin definitely has a lot of potential to show the uglier sides of your city, more so than criminal. Like, because at least like criminal, there could be a bit of an organization, whereas urchin, no, you're living on the mean streets, like you're eating rats to survive.
Yeah,
like you're digging through trash. You're a raccoon. So all right,
I think that's the last one.
That was it. That was the last one. That was we
good thing we only did the PHP ones, because at first I thought we were gonna do all of the backgrounds.
Yeah. You're like, are we gonna go through all of backgrounds? Like, oh god, no, are you kidding me? There's a
lot of fucking backgrounds.
Saltmarsh alone has like 5 different backgrounds, I think.
Yeah,
where it has like Mariner.
Avernus has like 4.
Did it really? Did Avernus have 4 backgrounds?
I think it's 4 or 3. Yeah.
Oh my god, Curse of Strahd only had the 1.
Let me see if I can find them. Even this list is just huge. Jesus.
It's huge.
Huge. But yeah, let's. Anyways, I think the bottom line is that backgrounds are obviously a great starting point, but if you really want your character to be unique to yourself, I feel like bringing an odd pairing and making it work tells more of a story than just. Nothing wrong with just pick. I mean, I picked a noble sorcerer. It just made sense.
Yeah.
But like honestly, like some of those like really quirky combinations, it's where like a lot of the really interesting storytelling beats can come from.
Backgrounds are a great tool for getting inspiration for character ideas. Yeah. So I mean,
and if you're a min-maxer, you want to justify it because those things are in the book. You can also do that.
I mean, as long as they have a good justification. Oh my god, why do I have the hiccups?
Oh, Andrew, are you hiccups?
Yeah, I got the hiccups. Just throw up on stream.
Oh god, it's all over the camera, Andrew.
But I can't get that on my mic. but no, backgrounds are great. I have loved the introduction of backgrounds, and just using backgrounds alone have given me such inspirations for character creation. Because
I didn't know that the backgrounds was a new 5e thing.
It's like I said, as far as I remember, because 3.5 is a long distant memory for me, and I've never played 4, so they might have introduced it in 4. I don't know, but I saw it as a huge boon for character creation, because I'm like, oh man, look at all this built-in stuff that I can like naturally build off of, all these templates. So yeah, I love them. I love it. All right, enough of that crap.
Let's move on to our next segment.
We actually have
news. Breaking news just announced about 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago, 4 days ago.
I thought it was 5 days ago. Whatever.
No, whatever. Wizards of the Coast actually, I guess, are jumping into the bandwagon of state of plays and directs and whatever with Nintendo and Sony, and now they're doing a D&D direct apparently, and they did one this Wednesday. So
and how did that go?
It wasn't. The internet was flipping shit about everything that they announced, but it was a very similar format as Sony with their state of play. Or Nintendo, right? It's just some host, and then they show a bunch of videos. But it had some really sweet reveals, Andrew.
So one of the reveals,
the big one that everybody was waiting for,
was that we're getting a new Magic the Gathering setting. Yeah.
No, it's the Dungeons and Dragons Creatures and Terrain campaign case.
What?
I'm not gonna talk about the big one right away, Andrew. I have to talk about the little ones first.
We gotta tease them. We gotta tickle them first.
So the first thing is actually it's pretty cool. Sadly, we don't play in person anymore, but it's a campaign case, which is, it looks like a little case that you open up, and it has a bunch of tokens in it, and they're just like little coins, and I guess they're made of my guess is they're made of that same material from dry erase board, because they have these stickers that you can put on it. So you don't have to have a whole bunch of miniatures. You just have these coins that look almost like a blackjack casino coin thing, right? And then you put the sticker with the monster art on it, and then you can place that in the board, and it comes with modular dungeon tiles and all that stuff, so you can build. And in the dungeon tiles, you can also put those stickers. The fun part is that you can remove those stickers and put them back in the sticker page, so you can always go back and forth, sticking on stick.
So is it like a magnet, or is it an actual adhesive? Because that would, I think it would make sense if it was a magnet.
I don't know.
Or maybe they just rolled out some new reusable adhesive that totally won't cause cancer in the future.
Yeah, right. It could be a magnet. I don't know, but it seemed pretty cool.
That's neat though. I like that idea that you don't have to shell out a bunch of money for a bunch of miniatures and stuff like that. And it's also something that's more space friendly. So
yeah, it's literally all not big, maybe it's twice the size of a regular lunchbox.
Oh, it's nothing.
Yeah. And it comes with a bunch of those tokens, all the way from the regular 5x5 tokens, the 1 inch by 1 inch tokens that we use, for the regular monster all the way to like the big Tarrasque size.
Oh, cool.
Circular ones. Yeah,
So-
and then the stickers represent those.
So it
sizes
goes
too.
through like all the size categories, like
Yeah.
small to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
gargantuan. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Speaking of
they
space
also
friendly.
announced. No,
Damn it!
They also announced new Icons of the Realm. So more miniatures are coming out, which I love them, but damn, they're so expensive to collect.
When
they
when
also,
are we gonna get into like Warhammer 40k territory in terms of like pricing? Like have
yeah,
we have,
no, I don't.
have we broken into that threshold yet?
No,
Or are we
I don't
still-
think. I don't think so. I don't think so. And I hope we never get there.
Okay, all right.
They also gave a development update for Baldur's Gate 3. They finally have a actual release date, which is in 2023.
Oh, I thought it was just gonna be like a
Oh.
permanent beta.
No, it still is, but now it says that it's gonna come out sometime during.
We're gonna finish the game, I promise.
That was pretty much the whole video. Let's see. I don't want to talk about that. They announced a new board game. It's called Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught,
Ooh,
which is a tactical skirmish miniature game.
what does that mean?
It's
For those that don't know, like myself, what does that mean?
it's a miniature game that you play with friends, and each miniature has its action, no action order, economy with cards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Some of the most famous ones I think is, obviously Warhammer has one, but Fallout. Remember the Fallout board game that came out a while back? It was like a Kickstarter. That's one of those. You ever play any of the X-Wing games?
no.
Okay, well, X-Wing is one of those.
I haven't.
And essentially all it is just you draw cards, and the cards have, you get like a set of basic movement cards.
Okay.
And then there's a grid, and then you play your your hand, and each one of those makes your miniatures move either way or whatever. And then you keep drawing cards, and some of those cards have special moves.
Oh, okay.
It's like a card and miniature, tactical environment.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Don't know too many details about that, but it is coming out. It apparently includes trolls, gnolls, and mighty dragons. You can pre-order right now, apparently. So there's that. They finally are doing the official release for all the books in different languages, multi-language support. So they're doing Tasha's Cauldron, Monster of the Multiverse, the Neo Starter set, and the Curse of Strahd.
So this whole time has it only been in English, and then somebody?
Mostly English and Spanish,
Okay.
but now they're doing like German, French, and a bunch
Oh,
of
they're
other
doing
ones.
all the languages. Like they're getting.
They're doing Italian, French, German, and Spanish.
Okay, so all the basic languages of the world. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. That's
Yes.
cool. Sorry.
Now they have.
Sorry for people that like in like Belarus or something like that. You're gonna have to, get some bootleg PDF or something like that.
They also have a new starter set called Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. I haven't seen too many things about it, but just know that there's a new starter set with a new first level adventure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with
let's
having a little
see.
bit of variety in your starter sets.
Yeah, that's true. They always there was always one, right? Like the big red box or the white box.
As far as I know, yeah. But I like the fact that they're catering a lot of adventurers towards beginners, like specifically, like so that way it's not like all right, it's not all just goblins and caves. Like there are different aspects of D&D. So
Right.
yeah, I like that idea.
And that's it. That's all the news.
Okay, absolutely nothing else. Cool. There's
Yeah.
no
Alright,
no news whatsoever.
Let's move on to the next.
No, nothing, nothing
no,
major that they
nothing at all.
confirmed that fans have
not
been
even a
asking
little bit.
for like the past
No.
decade. Nothing like that.
Nope.
Nothing. Okay,
Nope.
cool.
No. Not
All
at all.
right. They confirmed Spelljammer.
We got Spelljammer.
But there is a small portion of the internet that was like, finally.
You heard him up in the distance. They all screamed at once.
Jerry,
There's a disturbance.
yeah, Jeremy Crawford's like, I just felt a major disturbance in the phone.
Dude, they finally announced Spelljammer. Holy crap!
Now,
Listen,
now
I've never played it, but I was up from the hype when, like, back in the day. I'm like, oh, everybody's excited, so I am too.
Now see, immediately people were like nitpicking it because it's like, oh, this version of Spelljammer is going to be taking place in the astral sea, not in space. Dude, just hand wave it away. Just make it space. It's fine. Like,
people like to complain, bro.
Yeah,
I'm excited. This is so the cool thing about this is, get this. It all comes in a set that I'm gonna get because of course I am. And it brings the Adventurer's Guide, which is a 64-page hardbook players and dungeon master. So it's essentially the rules. Then they have Boo's Astral Menagerie of, which is a 64-page book of monsters for space. Over 60 creatures found in the wild astral sea.
Ooh, which
and
is
then
space.
At small,
it's space. Just
it's space.
It's space.
Yes. And then a small adventure called Light of Syraxis. Levels 5 to 8. Yeah. So it's very small, but it's higher level.
Yeah, I mean, it's still it's
at least it's not 1 through 3.
I mean the thing about it is that, like, people are like complaining like, oh, if you merge all the books together, it's still one of the smallest books in D&D. I'm like, but it doesn't have, it can literally be 5 pages as long as it gives us rules for how to navigate in space and gives us the setting. Like, that's all people have been wanting. They've just been there. I have seen so many like conversions of Spelljammers from old editions into 5e that, like, people just want rules for Spelljammer.
How long was the Spelljammer book?
The original Spelljammer book, I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I want to say that. I want to say Spelljammer was AD&D. Like, Spelljammer's been out for a while, like out of commission for a while. Like, people have been asking for Spelljammer ever since 5th edition's been announced.
Second edition, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, just as long as we get
$400 for the book. Ooh.
Yeah, it's an AD&D book, dude. But yeah, just so long as there's rules for how to navigate the astral sea space. As long as there's rules for that, and there's like we have rules for, like, I don't know, like radiation poisoning or some crap like that. Like some space specific stuff. That's fine. And everybody else can just take off on their, like, homebrew settings or homebrew campaigns that just take place in, like you know, we don't need a 300-page adventure just for Spelljammer. Like, people just wanted rules for Spelljammer, then they can build off of that. Or hell, just even having that possibility, like, now we can actually go to space in our campaigns, and it's not like it's not like a joke. You know.
Well, the thing is also that we were wanting one book, and we would be more than happy with just Spelljammer, basic rules, short adventure, and monsters in one book. But instead, they were nice enough to split it into 3, so it's more comfortable. Yeah, they all get their own art. They're beautiful set.
It's like
who cares?
It's essentially like a mini 5e set. Like, you know, like this is like you have a mini, like a mini player's guide, a mini DM's or a mini player's handbook, a mini DM's guide, a mini monster manual kind of a thing, but it's just for Spelljammer.
So apparently the original book was 73 pages.
See? And people are complaining that, like, one book of this is 60-something pages. Like, you know, like, but look, 73 pages, and look at the legacy that it has left. You know, it's like, it doesn't matter how many pages there are. It just matters what the pages are filled with. You know, like as long as there's a good enough content there. Now, if it's like the DM's guide for Spelljammer, like I'm saying, like, but like for the little mini set, if the DM's like the setting book is like 50 pages of fluff and then 12 pages of hard rules, then yeah, I'd be a little disappointed. But I mean, as long as there's if they have dedicated those 60-something pages to, like, no, this is how Spelljammer works, like that's great. Like, that's all you need. You know, like, you could have a pamphlet of rules, like 3 pages, but if it's hard set rules, like, this is how Spelljammer works, then that's all you need. You know. God, some of these people, I swear to God.
It also includes a double-sided poster map of the Rock of Brow, which is an asteroid city, and a Dungeon Master screen.
So there you go. You know?
Boom. It's nice. It's nice and beefy. Like, why are we bitching?
Yeah, I mean, it's
After so much like begging for whatchamacallit, after begging so much for freaking Spelljammer, they finally get it and they just bitch.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, there's some people you're never going to please, but I'm pretty sure there were some people that were expecting like the Starfinder core rulebook, which is like that fucking thick, you know. But it's like, dude, like this is like 5e has been a lot more streamlined. Like it's not going to be as gritty and granular. But you know, if you want those rules in there, just put them in there.
Yep.
Just homebrew your own rules in there. As long as we have something to build off of. That's what the people have wanted, and that's what the people are getting. So you know what? If you don't like it, just homebrew it back into AD&D. Whatever. So.
Yep. There's also that wasn't all, Andrew. There was something else.
Oh, I completely fell by the wayside for me. Spelljammer took up the entire thing.
Well, you ready for this one?
What?
Also, something was teased.
What?
It rhymes with Talonlance.
Dragonlance?
Yes!
Oh.
They're gonna revisit Dragonlance, so we're gonna get a release of that as well.
Man, when was the last Dragonlance book? I want to say that was also an AD&D thing because I don't think 3.5 even touched on that. I want to say 3.5 was Forgotten Realms and Greyhawk, but man, Dragonlance
So the first adventure book that was teased, or well, the only thing that was teased, honestly, it's an adventure book called Dragonlance: Shadow of the Dragon Queen.
Okay.
And it's releasing in late 2022.
Now that Dragonlance is the other side of the coin for the Spelljammer argument, where people would be like, fuck Spelljammer, where's Dragonlance?" And then the other camp would say the opposite. You know?
Fuck Dragonlance, where's Spelljammer?
Yeah, exactly. So you know what? We're all eating good this next year. So it's fine.
There's a lot coming out.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I'm glad that they finally have stepped away from the more comfortable settings. Okay, we have plenty of stuff for Faerun and for some reason Magic the Gathering, but now they're getting into the weird stuff. So that's give me more weird stuff, please. But I'm actually
I can't win because for what I understand, Dragonlance is original D&D, like gritty, less fantastical, more knights and.
I'm actually not that well versed in the Dragonlance, so I think this would be great for me personally. I would love to dig into a new setting like this and be a player in a Dragonlance campaign.
Also transitioning from Forgotten Realms to something like Dragonlance is a lot easier than transitioning from Forgotten Realms to Starfinder.
Yeah. Well, actually, Spelljammer would be a pretty good midway point where it's do you like more of the space aspects of Spelljammer? Well, here's Starfinder. You might like that too.
Check this out.
It would be a good stepping stone. But yeah, no, I've heard things about Dragonlance. Something about the gods of Dragonlance are much more prominent than Faerun and whatnot. But I've heard all this stuff about Dragonlance. I've never personally played in it, so this
because that was AD&D, right?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you because I'm not, like I said, I'm not at all familiar with it. So this is going to be a great boon for me too, because I would love to take part of that setting.
Because the first thing I came across Dragonlance wise was books.
You know what?
There was a bunch of books.
That's
what I thought.
It's almost like as if we have the internet at our disposal. Hold on, let me look it up. Dragonlance.
It's an original trilogy, Dragonlance Chronicles. Oh, see, there's just books.
Oh, okay. So it's just like shared universe. TS.
Yeah.
Damn, this was when it was still TSR. So you're right. This is probably original.
Back in the day. And then the last announcement, not the last announcement, but one of the other announcements that they had that people are excited about is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
What's that?
Releasing the movie. Releasing March 3rd, 2023.
Does it have Jeremy Irons in it, like the original Dungeons and Dragons movie? Because we need
and Tom Hanks.
We need Jeremy Irons chewing that scenery up. Because if you don't, I don't care. I really don't care about the story or something like that.
Yeah. I
have heard a small bit of contention against the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Apparently, how they're gonna use a pre-existing story or something like that. That's like in the setting.
Oh, I haven't heard any of it.
I've heard only a small squabble of the Dungeons and Dragons movie and how people are naturally already predicting it's going to be garbage or something like that.
Well, I mean, I'm excited, but we'll see. I mean, it will never match the shenanigans that we experience.
I mean, when you're dealing with something as like nebulous as D&D, you can't nail that down to a movie setting.
Yeah.
Like
so that's a hell of a
like
of a project.
Like if you're gonna have like an actual like accurate D&D movie, the first half hours has to be just people talking bullshit, and then someone's like, can we please get the campaign going? Yeah, sure. Anyways, and then and then one of the adventurers latches on to like a kobold NPC for some reason, and you're like, no, they're not relevant to the story, but they're relevant to my story.
You're right. I hope that they introduce in some way all of the cliches, for lack of a better word, of playing D&D.
I would totally.
Like, I hope they don't do like a, the last duel type of like gritty and
I mean if they do it tongue in cheek, I would totally be okay with it. Yeah, like having a rogue justify and be like, that's what I would do. Like kind of,
Well, honestly, yes, that's. I don't know.
Unfortunately, with the idea of a D&D movie, you're not gonna win. There's always gonna be people that's against certain aspects of it. Like
I just hope it's at least. I just hope it's at least adequate. Like it's. Oh, okay, cool.
Like if you make a tongue-in-cheek like Avenger style movie, people are gonna hate it because we wanted Dritz Do'Urden. But if you have a Dritz Do'Urden story, you're gonna be people like, quit jerking off Dritz Do'Urden. We've had enough of him. We want like original character. So you're never ever gonna win with it.
And they have to pull that. They have to pull the like one character dies and is played by the same person.
Yeah, they have to do that. And like that character's brother shows up and it's just like
the same actor.
I've learned all about you guys. My brother has told me everything, and you can just refer to me by his name in his honor. It's totally fine. And it's the same character, just with a mustache. The twin brother. Like, yeah, if they played it like that, if they played it like a straight up comedy, I would love it. That would be super great.
Yeah,
but I don't imagine they would. I imagine they'd probably go in some sort of like Critical Role style, like heavy story driven, like I'm just saying, like worst case scenario, we're probably gonna get like a Lord of the Rings ripoff.
Yeah. Then there was a Neverwinter Dragonlance update, so Neverwinter's gonna get an update for Dragonlance.
Cool.
Yeah. But that's it. That's all. That's it.
But pretty chunky news. We
for just that, like it was like a 27-minute video.
That's all it needed to be. You literally could have just had a dude walk out and just say Spelljammer confirm and then just leave, and that would be enough for the news week. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean Spelljammer was becoming like the Half-Life 3 of D&D 5e for the longest time. So, which we still haven't gotten a Half-Life 3. We never will because Valve can't count up to 3.
Nope, never.
Yeah.
All right, so that was news. Now let's move on to session highlights.
I have none. I'm kidding. What would be the session highlight for you, Jose?
Shit, you put me on the spot, even though I the one.
Yeah, exactly. How does it feel?
Well, let's talk about like the last 2 sessions that we did.
Yeah.
So the last session. The last session was. Okay, so 2 sessions ago, we finally went to the mines to deal with these kobolds, and we're going through the mines, and we don't find any kobolds. We're trying to. Oh my god! Yes. Okay. So session highlight, I guess, will be when Swift turns, because he's a gloom stalker, so he becomes like invisible essentially. And then Mittens also becomes invisible, so they can't see each other.
I'm just like, why? That's fine.
But then we gotta go explore, and they both just disappear. and they keep bumping into each
Like,
other. They're trying to
shit.
find.
Yeah, because it's a mine. It's not like a huge playground. It's like narrow tunnels and crap like that. So they keep bumping into each other. Like, oh god, oh sorry. You know?
So we spend like a good chunk like exploring the mines. We're trying to go through the mines, and then we, Heather or Beery is the whole time is trying to get some of these jewels out of the mine using a dagger.
And she's just
The
not.
whole time she just keeps rolling.
She's not
for
having it.
and
Not the
She doesn't.
the entire.
She doesn't fight
The
anything.
entire 2 sessions we were in the mine. She would just roll a D100 because that was the table. You needed to roll a D100, and
Yeah.
I would be narrating, be like, "Nope, sorry, try again," and just like go back to the narration.
But then we eventually find some kobolds.
Mhm.
Which one of them, one of those kobolds was trying to cut down like a support beam from one of the one of the bridges that we crossed from earlier, but we didn't see it until we were right under it. And it turns out that the kobolds were being ruled by another kobold that was possessed.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess for me, and then we beat that up. We beat that guy up, and then we're like, okay, let's find some jobs for.
Well,
these kobolds.
are we missing the fact that there was a grill fight where Beery's like, I'm gonna fucking tombstone pile drive the grill, and I'm like, you know what? I'll allow it. Why not?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just needed to refresh my mind on the actual sessions. So, what was your session highlight?
Well, I mean, definitely the grill fight because people are just like, you know what? Fuck the rules. Let's just beat this thing up in the weirdest way possible. But then on top of that, when you guys were dealing with the possessed kobold and you kept on asking it questions and you were rolling really good with your like persuasion and intimidation checks, and the kobold's like, hey, you know what, fuck this, and just jumps.
It's taking too long.
just jumps into Swift and it's like, all right, now it's a fight.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of the whole thing is that we managed to like essentially restrain Swift and the ghost within Swift. And then
you guys were originally just gonna beat the shit out of Swift, and then Beer's like, oh wait, we gotta find something that's like connected to this person in the material.
For some reason, Beer is the one that rolled high enough to know that.
She had I think she had like a good religion check or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
everybody else was rolling like shit.
Yeah, and then you
and
and
then
Gar
we find
were
the book.
fighting over the book.
That's the part I like the most. It's like Gar finds the book.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so just
right.
a little bit of context. The ghost that was possessing the kobold was like a not a horticulturalist, that's for gardens, but they were like a plant researcher. God, what's the term? Herbalist, thank you. They were herbalist for Icewind Dale, and they died and they possessed this kobold and stuff like that, and so they've been living as a kobold for like the past like 2 or 3 years. So the thing that was anchoring them to material realm was a book on like herbal like medicines and stuff like that, like a
herbal teas.
Yeah, but a textbook on you know, like their notes and crap like that, their research papers and stuff. So you Gar finds it and wants to read it, and you try to take it out of his hands to burn it, and he fights back for some reason.
But the rolls are so low.
Like he doesn't care that there is a fight happening in the background. He is going to read this damn book.
Yeah.
So it's just the whole party just like dissolves as this is happening because you got Gar like squabbling.
I'm trying to say Swift.
Yeah, Gar squabbling with Octavio, and Mittens is kind of just there having a good time, and Beery is like tying up Swift and also kind of beating the shit out of him at the same time. And it's like a weird like what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. And I'm just trying to grab the book, and Gar just like, we rolled just barely enough for it. Like it was like 4 and 6. It was such slow.
It was the most pathetic strength like contest I've ever seen.
So the whole time, I'm like, oh wait a minute, I have range, and I just fucking set it on fire. And Gar's like, oh, what the fuck?
Oh man. Shit, I didn't think about that.
I was trying to save Swift, and Gar just wanted to read a book.
Yeah. But I mean, you ended up saving Swift, so
yeah, I guess. But yeah, so that was my session highlights.
Yeah, mine as well. Just like this weird like infighting with the rest of the group. Like what the
Yeah.
fuck is going on? Why is this the mountain you want to die on, Gar?
Yep. Oh man.
Oh,
But-
I loved it.
But we have some sort of like secondary news as well for all of our listeners. We're actually gonna pause Rime of the Frost Maiden.
Yes, Rime the Frost Maiden has been being put on ice for right now, pun intended.
Ah,
Yeah. I spoke with the D&D group, and I have started recognizing signs of burnout.
it has been almost a year.
It's-
like, literally almost a year.
I think it's just been like a couple months shy of a year.
It's yeah.
And,
I think
and,
1
and
month
it's just
away
like I really don't want it to become a situation where I start to resent the campaign setting, especially since you guys are only level 4. So it's like I told the rest of the group, hey, anyone who wants to throw their hat in the ring, I'm just gonna take a break from DMing for right now. I'm gonna hop on the other side of the screen, and Heather threw their hat in the ring. So now next week and for the next couple of weeks, we're gonna be playing in Saltmarsh, and Heather's gonna be DMing, and it's gonna be me and Jose on the same side of the screen, and that's probably gonna not end up great.
It's only happened once, but it was a very, 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 very short adventure.
But it also ended up like taking up like half of the time, so it's fine.
You want to tell them a little bit about your character you're gonna play?
So I have. Oh geez, I actually have to pull up the name because it's in Gaelic. Hold on. Okay, so I am playing a tiefling bard. I haven't picked an alignment yet, but I'm leaning towards chaotic neutral. That's either going to go by the name of Aolin or Aokade Koldidri, and he is a bard that had dreams of ambition of becoming like kind of like the equivalent of a rock star in Waterdeep, and got as far as Saltmarsh. And is living in like a permanent residency in like whatever Saltmarsh tavern there is, and the only reason why they even join an adventure group is because like, oh hey, money, I need money. So we're probably gonna see a lot of Koldidri being a thorn in the side of this group.
Yes. And I am playing Gorgon, a half-orc fighter that eventually will be a champion.
Oh, you're going with champion fighter. That's
Yeah.
a interesting pick.
Yeah.
It's interesting by how not interesting.
They told me I was gonna play something else, and it was like, you can't play the same character again. I'm like, fine, I'll play the total opposite.
because you were gonna play a wide-eyed innocent youth. I'm like, Jose, you're like, and I'm like, Jose, Vesemir was a wide-eyed innocent person for the most part. Octavio is a wide-eyed innocent
That didn't last
person.
long.
And then Robert's like, wait a minute, your cleric was also a wide-eyed innocent. Like, you have a type. Like, he called you out on the chat.
Hold on a minute. I forgot to reply about that because he was not a wide-eyed innocent person. He was just a man of the cloth. Okay.
All right, but I mean, I don't know how true that was. I wasn't part of that campaign, but it's just like I wouldn't, I also wouldn't be surprised.
So I'm playing essentially Adrian Pimento from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
And slightly unhinged guy who you don't know if you're friends with him. Kind of. He thinks you're friends. Like he considers you a friend, but at any minute he can stab you in the back.
But you don't know if you want to be friends with him. just keep him on our good side.
and he's like at the edge of like anything can just spark a fucking rage attack from him.
But he's a fighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. And he's gonna be maining a warhammer
Okay.
and throwing axes because he does not believe that arrows are an efficient way of doing ranged attacks.
I mean, a throwing axe is larger than an arrow, so I can see that.
Yeah, definitely. So he has two hand axes in his belt, and he's.
This is gonna be an interesting campaign. and
I'm Andrew's bodyguard, or what's your character's name?
I'm sticking with the last name right now, Koldidri. Like I said,
Yeah.
I haven't decided if I want to go with Aolin or Aokade. I know I'm definitely gonna go with one of those two.
The reason I know him is because I'm his bodyguard, but I disappear midway through my shift and then come back like covered in blood or like with the head of somebody.
Just not a very good bodyguard.
But did you die though?
I mean, no, but I also
did you die though?
I also wasn't any
point proof.
I also wasn't in any immediate danger as I was.
Yeah, you're welcome.
As I was performing in the corner of this tavern and no one's paying attention to me. Like,
you're welcome. That's because of me.
I mean, this is also Salt Marsh, so. And you know, whatever. And there's
I hope I get to pull the, like, okay, I'm in, but no kids, unless you know, unless your dick's extended to debatable.
Yeah. I won't stab kids unless that kid's a dick.
So yeah, make sure to join us this Wednesday for that because it's gonna be fun. Heather's gonna be running Salt Marsh
and
for 2 weeks. That's how we planned it, 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take over the next 2 weeks with I don't know which adventure.
Okay.
But something else. Or if it takes longer, I mean it's fine. She can run it all 4 weeks if she wants to.
Okay.
But the idea is for us to flip flop.
Yeah, and then what we're gonna do is that we talked about it in the super secret DMs chat. But what we decided to do is that in order,
which half the group is in.
Don't worry about it. But what we decided to do is that going forward after this like hiatus for me from Icewind Dale, what we're gonna do is that did we decide on the 3-to-1 rotation for like every 3 sessions?
No.
We do one in another setting. Like you brought it up, but I don't know if we decided on something. But we're gonna do some kind of like slow rotation, I believe.
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of on the same page. Where like we're gonna have one big main campaign, and then have sprinkled throughout essentially filler episodes of like just other different things, just to whoever's DMing take a break. That way, in order to decrease the possibility of burnout. And, I mean, really just to give the person a break. I mean, shit. Yeah, no, for sure. But they're not getting paid. Nobody in this podcast gets paid.
But I mean, what that also does is that, especially for someone like Heather, who's like a fresh DM, like that will also give them like a chance to kind of bone up without putting too much pressure on them.
Yeah, no, I agree because like I think she's been wanting to DM for a while, but every time either she's just busy or like we want to start like right away. So like, you know, and I kind of take over, and it's like, oh, we're playing now a full campaign, and then she doesn't get a chance, or anybody, because I mean, if Howard or Alex want to DM something, I mean, but I know that for sure Robert is gonna want to do something too as well.
Yeah, I mean, so the floor is always open for anybody that wants to do like a one shot or like a small adventure or something like that. But I know Heather has been wanting to DM Salt Marsh for a while, but it's just life has just gotten in the way, and now the chance is here, and she wants to do that. I want to take a break, so it all just kind of lined up beautifully.
We're never coming back to Rime of the
We're
Frost Maiden.
Never going back to Rime of the Frost Maiden. That's it. You guys died in that mine.
Yes.
Oh man.
We all became ghosts.
Yeah, no, but like I said, it was just a moment where I went to bed that night, and I messaged you like immediately after that, where I'm like, dude, I'm not feeling it anymore. Like I'm just like kind of like getting this, like I'm starting to recognize some things.
Yeah, and that's why I told you right away. I was like, you want to take a break because I've been there, and I wish I would have told myself to take a break.
And the thing about it was that I said I'll let you know by tomorrow, and I was expecting to like mull it over the whole day, but it was like the moment I woke up, I'm like, no, I need to take a break. Like I immediately recognized like, no, I'm burning out. Yeah. So
well, like I said, it's like so far our campaigns don't really last a full year. It's close to it, but not a full year. Yeah. I think we're like literally 1 month away from a full year, and we're not even nearly anywhere close to even the midway point.
No.
So before you know it becomes an actual burnout.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it will, like I know I keep saying it, but it will snowball to where your progress will start to speed up. But a lot of but seriously, like a lot of the I'm gonna mute you if you don't shut up. but a lot of the groundwork has been set for the setting, and so that's where like the slow burn aspect has come in. But man,
you guys are just about to be done with the starter quest.
I mean, if you guys knew how far in the book you were, but I mean, it's just. But you guys have been doing a really good job of exploring the setting, especially all 10 towns. Like you guys are like going through them all, and you're getting a pretty good idea of it. So it's just. I just need a break. Like
no, I hear you.
Like I want to put. And I think it really said a lot too, where it was like when Heather's like, "Oh, give me some character ideas," and that well of like inspiration immediately filled up for like character ideas. I'm like, okay, that's just what I need. I just need a change of pace right now. Like I just can't deal with being behind a screen for that long. Apparently.
Yeah. No, I mean it's completely fair. I mean, if you would have said you needed a break like 3 months in, I would be like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
Yeah.
But no, it's been. I'm pretty sure like 11 months. Like I think isn't it June when we started?
I have no idea.
We're like 1 month away from being a year.
Yeah. We're pretty close to hitting a full year. So you know, and it's just we've all seen what DM burnout can do. Mm-hmm. So now we're all very cautious about it.
We are very traumatized. We don't want that. Oh man! All right, cool. Let's wrap this up, Andrew, because I need to finish the rest of my day. But thank you everybody who joined us.
We only been doing this for 2 hours and 15 minutes. So
only, yeah. Thank you everybody who joined us for stopping by. Make sure to also stop by on Wednesdays because we play Dungeons and Dragons, and as you just heard, we are going to be playing Salt Marsh. A couple of like short side quests, I guess, essentially. We're putting a pause on Rime of the First Maiden for now, but we're definitely going to be we're going to be playing still.
Well,
also on Tuesday and Thursday we play video games.
Well, Salt Marsh is a collection of small adventures that are localized to the area of Salt Marsh, and there is like a loose narrative that ties between them.
Right.
But you can also just play with the freedom of, oh, I just want to play this adventure, and so you can.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope you guys had a good time, a good laugh. I hope you learned something or just fell asleep through our ramblings. That's fine too.
You know what? Whatever, as long as you get that listening.
For sure. But yes, with that, as always, have a wonderful rest of your week, and as always, keep on gaming.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.